we're live. Welcome to the stream. I think we have sound. Do we have sound?
I don't know.
Oh, there it is.
There's that bar graph it's back and forthy instead up and down, but
Well, I
that's
made it
because
that way so we have bigger
it's a small
pictures.
screen. Yeah,
All right, so it is Friday night. Did anyone else watch John Wilburn? We watched that, and now we're out in the shop, set up our live so we can talk about what's goings on.
and tonight I have dragon fruit instead of
I
tang.
think that the drag unfruit is illegal in Tennessee, so
Dragon fruit,
no one,
dragon fruit from
as
a
long
dragon.
as long as your drag and fruit is not in front of children, you cannot
Look at
be
that!
persecuted.
Look at that! It makes like red rain in there.
Oh, that's neat. I like that.
It's probably stains.
It probably does, but it is very red. You'll have to let us know how it tastes once it mixes up. So we're here in the shop.
It needs to be shaken.
We've got the 66 here. I have been fidgeting with some of the chrome and working on the mounting the auxiliary cooling fan because I don't want to get heat soak in the pits because it is a mechanical fan. So when the car is running, it will keep cool no problem. But as soon as the car shuts off, slant sixes because the exhaust manifold is directly beneath the intake manifold. The heat sort of radiates up and it will vapor lock and boil out. I mean, I haven't had problems with this car because I haven't really driven it yet, but I just know from experience that slant sixes um, can be very vulnerable to that. Tavo, welcome to the stream. You are first. You get all rights and privileges that are entitled to therein for the first for tonight. Dougster, Wolverine Garage is here. Dougster, welcome to the stream. Have no fear, the Dougster is here. I'm cleaning a CVA Hawken lead propulsion device. Yes, yes, yes. Has been unloved since
20.
2020 and needs attention.
2020 or
So you should
1920.
always make sure that devices that propel basically anything are clean and well maintained. And we speak little of them on the internet, but we are always keep them in good care because, well, for reasons that we don't discuss. Because they are part of our rights as Americans, which is important. It is important. In
Arrows is here.
Smith and Wesson, we trust.
Smith and Wesson.
All right.
Geez, I had a job where I carried a Smith and Wesson like 40 years ago. Man, that's a while ago. 2 years. How many times I unholstered it? Only at the range.
Only at the range.
Neighbor. Never
All
once.
right.
Never once on duty.
This is a car stream, so although we are not against discussions of other things, it seems like that is a touchy subject that we do not know how to deal with in ways that do not upset our platform. So until we do know exactly what our limitations are there, we're going to probably not have too much discussion. Bear Rose Garage is here. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for coming in, Bear Rose. Bear Rose, as our moderator, has been kind enough to put up links to our friends when they come in, when they have new content, or when they want to advertise their stream. And we are not anti-stream promotion. So if you have content that you want to promote, as long as you're doing so within reason and not like message bombing the chat about it, you're welcome to say, hey, I put up a new video and check it out. And if the moderator has a free hand and a keyboard, Barrows will, or any other moderator, hopefully will be able to find a link and put it up for you. Go ahead.
Well, I was looking at One-Eyed Cat. Just an FYI. I was first one here. Just didn't text nothing.
One-eyed cat. But how do you know you were first if you didn't text anything? Right?
Maybe nobody texted.
I was here first.
I put it up. I guess you turned it on.
See, it's a gray. It's a gray area. There, I, there
You
really
don't
is
have to
no
say sorry.
there really is no prize for being first. Oh no, Dougster. No, no, I liked your uh what is that called when you dance
Lead,
around the subject
lead
and don't
propulsion
really.
device.
Yeah, that was
We
good.
have lead propulsion devices, but they're on the wheels, and then when
Oh yes, the
lead weight
weights.
gets loose, it becomes propulsion.
I have six cast aluminum propulsion devices. They're called spark plugs, and they force the pistons down in their bores.
So with the help of some gasoline.
I don't think what you brought up has any issue to be concerned about, Dougster, and you're more than welcome to mention the things that you're doing. And in person, I would love to discuss um, your,
Yeah. We can discuss that stuff at No
yeah,
Name Nationals. You're gonna be at No Name Nationals, right? I think you are.
Dougster better.
Uh,
Is your wife coming? Are you bringing the bug? That would be fun. Yeah, they have a Volkswagen.
oh, you put screws in
Dougster's
the
wife
table.
is
I
coming.
just noticed you put screws in the table
Oh, yeah.
to hold the monitor.
Yeah, yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good
So I
idea.
turned our monitor
Oh yeah,
sideways
you have a big
so that we
monitor.
can have a lot of text on the screen at once. But, since the base for the monitor is on the side, when I turn it up, we duct taped it to the shelves behind it. And then I put some screws in the sawhorse that it's sitting on so that it can't get bumped and fall down and smash. So he didn't notice that
I
before.
just noticed it looked when I first saw it, it looked like there were screws through the monitor. I went, "Ah, that can't be. No, they're just anti-skid devices.
Oh, Miss One-Eyed Cat was the first thumbs up. Can I
Oh, you were the first thumbs
can
up.
I can I give any kind of
I don't know what you can do.
darn it. I can't like heart you or anything for that, but you
No,
deserve.
because I took that away. The little heart that resides down below in some people's chats, I take that away because it covers up the chat, and I really dislike it. So sorry.
Dougster will be there with his daily driver '07 Dodge Ram named Black Betty Bama Lamb. Okay.
All's here.
Why no Volkswagen? Too far? Eh.
Aunt Barrows is putting up links.
Oh,
Good,
and welcome
thank
to
you.
the stream. So,
For those of you that missed it, I put instead of Tang, I put some dragon fruit in here, some same kind of little packet. Man, that is red. And then when I put it in, I got a little bit on my finger, and man, it is
red.
staining red.
Very red.
It tastes good.
Is are you out of Tang already?
No, I just
Wanted to
no,
try some more.
that box that's on the kitchen table that I put there. It's got all these drinks in it. I did that so I could fish through it and grab something else, make the Tang last a little longer. Yeah, there was quite a group in John's, but I cut it off about 10 minutes before he finished because I was trying to get ready here. And Tavo, I don't know, I think you were in just for like a minute or something last night. I used your picture you sent me for the thumbnail. It was a good picture, and thank you. I don't know if I had permission to do that, but I did it. Ask permission later.
I mean,
It's
it's
the right way.
easier to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission some days.
So I don't know. I just did it. You sent me the picture, so like the one tonight is license plates that were sent to us.
Don't drink it if you're getting a colonoscopy. Don't get a colonoscopy.
It'd be red.
Oscopy.
Oh, what's this?
They give you
Oh,
stuff to drink if you're getting a colonoscopy. And if you had not drank, if you had not had the lovely experience of, well, then we're not going to discuss it, you know. Talk to your
should I tell
doctor.
a story about that? My father was 77. He had one, and he ended up in the hospital for 11 days. He couldn't eat, and it just shut down his digestive system, and he finally recovered from it. It took forever, and he finally got so he could eat again. And he used to walk three miles a day, and he was 77. So he got up to about a mile a day again. And when he turned 90, Stupid doctor's telling me he wants to do another colonoscopy, and he got another opinion, and the other doctor goes, "No, don't do that." So, so yeah, I don't know.
My grandfather passed away shortly after due to complications of colonoscopy, so they are risky. They're they're pretty intense, and as you get older, yeah,
Yeah,
they're pretty rough. So I don't know. You got to weigh risks and benefits of procedures like that. I think they have now where you don't have to do that.
I
They
think
do have different ways of.
they might be using a CT scan or something. I don't know. I
I
don't
don't
know why
know.
they couldn't do that before. I don't know.
I'm not a doctor,
I
but
don't practice medicine. We practice. We don't even practice. We just do it. Mechanics. Oh
so.
man, Kimbergini. Is that Kimbergini the first? Why is there a one up there? What is the one for?
Oh, I may have missed some. I'm sorry if I'm missing.
He always puts that. Dean Stevenson.
Mentioning me as rewards enough. Oh,
Oh, there it
one-eyed
is.
cat.
Kimbergini squared. Two. Scientific notation.
I know. Where do you get those little numbers?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never looked for those, but I figured they're, I found them by accident one time, but I forget now and I never use them. So,
Oh, okay.
well, I don't use them in chat. I might use one for the, yeah, colonoscopy, not me.
Yeah, why are we talking about this?
Stick that where the sun don't shine. Yeah, right.
It's literally where they stick.
Woo. Ah, not the job I want.
Oh, man.
You don't want me on this
I've
subject.
got, we've got the,
Yeah, we got yeah, ours is not a,
I think it specifically says not to use internally.
we got one. It's a borescope, not an endoscope. It says that on it. And then it says not to put it inside orifices of humans or something like that. That's meant to go down inside an engine or somewhere.
Oh, Tabo has 500?
Topple
Congratulations.
got 500?
Kick butt.
Oh, man. He can bring his car to no name nationals.
Can he, though?
Does it float? Tell us about Studebaker.
Oh, the Studebaker Hill holder. You were telling me about that the other day while we were
Well, so
driving to college.
how did this come up in here? How did he hear us? Or he didn't? It's two separate conversations.
He was in the car with us. He was snooping
He was
on my phone. He was listening into our
You
conversation.
see what happened was we went into to Clarksville, and there's a hill there where you go up, and sure enough, they put a red light at the top of the hill. And when my youngest son was learning to drive, we had a PT Cruiser with a manual transmission, 5-speed in it. And I said, "You're going to learn to drive that," and he kind of wanted the car. So he was learning to drive the 5-speed, and I took him up the top of that hill, and man, he struggled. He can't roll backwards, and he's really sweating it. So then I had him drive around the block, something, and I said, "Make a right turn again." And he's like, "No, no, no, don't make me go up that hill." I said, "Go up the hill." And so he did it like, we finally got it so it was pretty easy for him. So we were on that hill and I was talking about that to Kim. And then I said, Studebaker had a thing that kept you from rolling backwards. When you get to the hill, you can take your foot off the brake and
It
be
applied the brakes, you
it
said?
did something. So I don't remember how that worked because you could still back the car up. If you put it in reverse, it backed up, but I think maybe it was only on a hill because when you're sitting there, it it didn't roll backwards. You could take your foot off the brake and step on the gas and let the clutch out, and you went
Would it
forward.
roll forward?
Well, yeah, it released the brake somehow. I don't know how. I'm gonna have to go read how that worked. And it was on the 50 Champion. See, I didn't know when it was. I told her it was late 40s, early 50s because I wasn't sure when it was, but I was telling her that. Oh, automobile scopes aren't rated for the pressure. Jeez.
Dean!
This is more information than we need.
I don't think they should be blowing 90 psi inside of people. That sounds like the reason they're having problems.
You could hover. Oh,
Oh,
Jesus.
if the hill holder was engaged, you had to double clutch to disengage.
Oh, oh, okay. See, I'm gonna have to go back and read how that worked because I knew about it, but uh, I really didn't know how it worked. But I knew it was there. And I have that friend out in California that he's really into the 50s cars and some earlier, some newer, but mostly 50s cars. I think he was the one that told me about it. And he had Studebaker. In fact, he's the guy that had the Studebaker that ran over me. But nobody was in the car. It was both our faults. We didn't wheel chalk it. But anyway, we were just a couple of old mechanics making a mistake. But he's the one that told me about that. Danny Boyd is here. He made it. You made it here or you made it?
Welcome to the stream, Mr. Danny Boyd.
Dan, are you going to No Name Nationals? I don't think you had enough subs, but so what? I went the first year. I didn't even have a channel. The second year, I was only had like 40 or 50, 60 subs, something like that. I just went to have fun. And of course, Kim had enough subs, so she drove both years. And then this year I have enough subs, and she'll drive. I might take that thing down the track once, but you don't have to. Uh, it'd be good to see you there. Talo says that anti-rollback would work on a sprag clutch like a starter. And do I like sprag clutches? That's what I don't understand about ratchet handles. Why they don't have sprag clutch in there? Then it'd be just infinite. I worked on a lot of jet engines that had things that were driven with sprag clutches because you only want them to go one direction. Uh, Geez, Danny Boyd. On the 51 Land Cruiser, they had a track safety switch on the automatic transmission. If the car died, it would automatically kick it in neutral so you could roll off the train tracks or push it off. Man, I got stuck on a train tracks one time. It's just you. I had a 70 Thunderbird in the shop that I put an engine, I put a used engine in it. So I was a little worried about it. And I got it all running and everything. I lived about a mile from there, and it was on the other side of the tracks. So it was lunchtime. I drove the Thunderbird home and ate lunch, and I came back, and I was going across the tracks. It was like up over the tracks and back down. So there'd been a train. It went by. I was stopped, and then I could go, and I started to go, and as I got up to the top of the tracks, it quit. It was a 429 Ford. It's like you got to be kidding me. So there I am sitting on tracks in this whatever 6,000 pound car. It's,
The chance.
so I get out and I open the door and I grunt and I grunt and I push and I got the back wheels up over the tracks and then it rolls down and I pulled off the side of the road and I couldn't get it started. It cranked, but it wouldn't start. So I called a tow truck and had the thing brought to the shop. What had happened was the there's a hex-shaped rod that goes up from the oil pump. That thing had there's a pin in there in the distributor, and that thing sheared off. What the heck happened? But anyway, that that rod either broke or fell down or something, but it stopped turning the distributor. I don't remember exactly what happened there, but that's what
Why would that
happened.
happen on the
Why
train
would it
tracks?
happen on the tracks? And
That's
then I was really
strange.
worried about it because I didn't know why it happened. So I got it running and drove it some more and ran it for hours and called the customer. And I'd see that car around town sometimes and I talked to him a couple of times. He always said just ran great. So I don't know what caused that. I have no idea what caused that. Barrows might know. Why does the where was that pin? The pin was in, oh, I know. The pin was in the gear on the bottom of the distributor, and when the pin sheared off, then the then it wouldn't turn the distributor anymore. And I think it was oil pump drive that sheared off. I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember. It's been some time. This is like Groundhog Day. Being up here every day. Yeah, Groundhog Day. That's that. Groundhog Day is my favorite holiday.
Oh, yeah, it is.
John Wilburn. You know why Groundhog Day is my favorite holiday? Because Groundhog Day is February 2nd. When February 2nd rolls around, the worst possible case is there's only 6 more weeks of winter. And it could be shorter depending on what the groundhog does. But 6 weeks of winter, yeah, I'd put up with 6 more weeks of winter.
John Wilburn, welcome to the stream. That was a heck of an interesting stream you did earlier. A very interesting guest. Out of my league as far as burnout competition stuff. Like, that's some serious burnout competition stuff. I thought you were just going to be talking about, your average run of the mill
Oh, that was a
fun car burnouts, but that was like
that was a really good live.
top fuel, high
You,
power.
you're going to talk about burnout contests. I almost didn't go in there, and then like as soon as soon as you got into it, that was a great live. It really was. I had to shut it off about 10 minutes early because I was getting ready for this. Had to get my thumbnail up and all that because I was late doing that. I was watching John Wilburn's live. Buckdale Campo, my 91-year-old neighbor, told me last week that he bought a brand new 63 Ford with the R code 427 and a 4-speed sedan, dog dishes, and power windows. Wow, his son has it. Yeah, there were a few of those around. There was one in the town where I lived that had the acid dip body and everything. That was quite a car. Let me guess, it was white. I don't know. Most of them I saw. Every one of them I saw was white. I don't know if that was the case. What are you doing? Trying to pick off carbon tracks?
I'm just cleaning it up. Yep.
Just cleaning it up.
I was watching that Stone Soup one and video, and they found carbon tracks in the distributor. Just clean it up and make sure there's nothing like that going on. I don't think there is. Looking at it, let's see it. But I do have a little bit of a miss, so
Well,
you know how to.
she didn't know about carbon tracks. And I guess, she's young enough she wouldn't know. And when I was in high school, that's one of the things we learned about was carbon tracks to look for them. And that stone soup that went between two terminals, I've seen them where they go down to the distributor. They ground out to the case of the distributor, and the old Bakelite distributor caps were horrible for that. And I think the plastic ones weren't quite as bad, but they still do it. So it's the old folks that know about the carbon tracks. Sorry, sorry, Mr. John Bowman Stream, but I collected a nice amount of currency. Ooh. Oh, you were working or something, or you sold something. Raven Black. Oh yeah, I guess some of them were black, weren't they? My son just texted me. He paid off his truck already. 2 years early. He's smart that way. Yeah, that feels so good when you pay off something early. Well, my Mazda, I paid it off about a year and 2 or 3 months early. I got called back to work for 30 days, and it ended up being 2 years, but I didn't know that yet. So my first paycheck, my second paycheck at work, I paid my car off. And I didn't care if I paid anything else. I paid that car off. I wanted to get rid of that liability before I came back home. And the people here that are remember when I was on Uncle Tony's lives? That was a first month that I was gone from Uncle Tony's is that I paid that car off. And that was so good feeling. Just I didn't expect to be there for 2 years. I expected to be there for 30 days. I thought I'd be right back to Uncle Tony's. But now we have a lot. We do
Yeah,
a,
we do have a live,
we do a live more often than Uncle Tony does.
and we do it from our own the comfort of our own shop, which is kind of nice. Because driving down to Murfreesboro is a heck of a haul. Although we would like to go down there and do some
It's
Dr. Art. Would be fun to do one with Dr. Art
Dr.
now and
Art.
then.
I finally met him in person. Then I figured out that I had met him in person before, but it was at the first year No Name Nationals. And when I was there the first year, I met so many people I couldn't remember who they all were. By the second year, somebody make some noise out there. Can anybody hear that?
Motorcycle is ripping.
Motorcycle turn about 14 grand. Okay. Uh,
Ripping.
but by the second year, I knew a lot of people by then. The habit is keeping me from sinking right now in my current situation. Can't go wrong. I'll get it out right. My I've got one credit card left, and I need to keep it so I can make hotel reservations and things like that. But man, credit cards will kill you when they start getting out of control, and then work dries up. It's just fine as long as everything's rolling. But when work slows down, it's like, oh no. I wish I was still a night owl for these lives. Maybe in the winter I'll stay up later. But what happens in the winter? You have a summertime kind of job. I don't know. Only car I borrowed proper money for scheduled payments for about $72.30 a week. I paid $75 a week and cut nearly 2 years off the loan. Doesn't take much. Yeah, the payments on my Mazda were, man, I think they were $450 a month. Maybe it was $650 a month. Seems more like it was $650 a month. And I just like
650.
I had enough. Yeah, maybe it's 450. I don't remember now. No, you know what was 650 was my house payment because I was paying the house payment every 2 weeks. Every payday I made a payment instead of every other, instead of once a month I was doing it every 2 weeks. So that's how the house payment that's how the house got paid off quicker. And then and I had a good job. And then the car, man, as soon as I went back to work, by then I knew what it was like living on Social Security. I had to get rid of that payment. And I got rid of it. I still have a credit card, but I always pay it off every month. I ain't rich either. Summer I get up early since I've been living here again. Okay. I know you're where are you, Dan? Oh, no, you're not in New York. You're in Southwest Ohio. Who's in New York? Who sent me the picture with the license plates? Yeah, I downloaded all that stuff, and now I don't know who I got it from. Feel like an idiot, but I used it anyway. I used it I used a piece of that picture on the thumbnail tonight. Listen to Dave Ramsey. He's wise and his plan works. Yeah, Dave. I listen to Dave Ramsey some, but man, I don't know. I mean, you almost have to borrow money to buy a house, but you're gonna pay rent anyway. I mean, but just try to get it uh, get it paid off quickly if you have any way to do that. At least long hair pothead slept all day the last time I lived here. Oh, this is kind of good. I'm drinking it faster than the tank.
Yeah.
You're over there. She's over there like scraping, scraping, scraping. Does anybody know what Kim's doing? She's cleaning off the rotor. Tim, thank you. Here's so often. This is my rent payment. There's no rent here. It's always a pleasure. Thanks, Buff and Kim. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Did we
See,
get a
I
super
can
chat?
I can do that. We got a super chat. Yes, Kim.
Thank you very much.
See that?
Nobody has to donate anything, but we really appreciate it.
And that's his first super chat on the live stream. So yeah, gave him a
Wow.
thumbs up. Thank you.
How many videos do we have now? Over 200 videos that we've made,
Yeah, we've made
and we've earned about $6.
look, in our videos we earned it's an estimate right now. We they don't tell you really.
Estimated, right?
It's
So they can take
estimated
some of it back.
$6.30, I think. So it's like, well, you know what? Not
Run
doing it for
away.
free. We're not doing it for free.
Yeah, funny stuff.
Well, and Tim's just
I know
made
you
it
just
more.
doubled our earnings for the month, Tim. Nice.
Oh, we had some other super chats yesterday, so
We did. Everybody got really generous, and that was super, super cool.
my only debt, my house payment is about 2K. Danny Boy, now I have short hair. You don't smoke anything. You know, I've never smoked. Well, I smoked one thing once. There was this girl I liked. Oh, she's hot, hot, hot stuff. And I was at her house and she lit a cigarette. And I go, "What do you get out of this?" And I picked it up and I like took one puff off the cigarette. It's like, oh my God. It's like, where's my beer? And I drank a beer.
It's my
I
beer.
couldn't get rid of the taste of the cigarette and open a second beer. It's like, okay, so that's my story of how I started and quit smoking. All with one drag on
In
one
the same day.
same day, same cigarette.
Same cigarette. Well,
Oh
I
God.
smoked for a couple of years, but I had to quit. When it hit $1 a pack, I was like, I'm out of here. This is too expensive.
Tavo, $10 US. Thank you. Or not
Bravo.
US, it's AU. It's AU. So it's $10. So what is that? I don't know. It's about seven or something. Hey, I can figure that out. Thank you, sir.
That is super generous.
And they don't give us a way to, well, it says we can celebrate, but it's it doesn't have a thing to say thanks. It has it because it's not a super chat, it's a super sticker or
It's a
something.
sticker. Cool.
So
Hey,
so our
check this.
first sticker. That's our first sticker. John Wilburn,
Bravo. Thank you so much.
42,468 away from four away
Paid
from
for
four.
houses by the
Oh,
item.
I don't know what that
Oh,
four is.
John's making good financial decisions.
Yeah, that's
There
good.
might be some buying opportunities in the near future as well, John. There's a
What
lot of
what I don't like right now
volatility.
is I bought this house. It wasn't that expensive. I mean, it was, but compared to today's prices, it wasn't that expensive. But the price, the value of the house keeps going up. So now they've reevaluated. My taxes doubled this year. It's like, oh man. So am I really?
The
Yeah,
taxes aren't going to go up for a while though. And
it'll be
honestly, for
no.
this property, it's probably
It'll
reasonable.
be it'll
Sucks,
be
but it's reasonable.
January.
Yeah.
It'll double what it was last
I
January.
know, but it's not going to go up every year. It
No,
probably
but
won't
it's
go
like
up again for
it's
10
like it's like
years.
gulp.
It
You
is a
know,
big, big
it's like
change.
did
Yeah.
I own this house or am I renting it from the county?
Well, that is exactly what you're doing.
Oh,
All right. So, Tavo, you're fantastic.
so I'm
That
gonna find out what
that is way too generous. Thank you.
just for interest. I'm gonna see
So
what
check this out, guys. I pulled
Australian.
the little thing off of. It's like rusty in there. I don't think it probably jumps around in there, but I don't think it's supposed to jump around in there. So
Okay, let's see
I
here.
should probably replace this, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna clean it.
yeah, I'm getting behind on the
Okay.
chats because I'm messing around on my phone.
You are messing around on your phone.
Danny Boyd, is your oil still coagulating? Yeah, is your starter not working? Federal mogul bearings without tangs. Okay, I guess they're talking to each other. Just keep right. That's okay. Go where we go. And Tabo 2, that's real money. Pitsy Fluff, how you doing? Good evening. Um, Pitsy Fluff, how's the machine business going? You get your machines up and running again. I know you had a problem with a lightning strike or something. Tabo, council taxes down here work on a percent of value. They keep raising the percent rate on top of the value. See, that's terrible. That's terrible. The percent should never go up. And there are places where percentages, like sales tax in California, percentage had gone up the whole time I lived there. It went up, it went up, it went up. It is terrible. One eye cap mortgage was paid 2 years ago here. I have money for me. Finally. Yeah. Yeah, I paid mine off, and right after that, we lost the contract that I was working on. So I went on Social Security, and that was a huge pay cut, but at least my house is paid off. Pretty sure that was your slight miss, Kim. What is, okay, I'm trying to read this quickly. Probably rotor butt, spike that rotor button in the trash. Those things stop the bearings spinning around. So, okay, they're talking to each other. I ain't clicked them in yet, but there's still time for me. Kitsy Fluff not working. Still not working. WT, what's TWT? TWT. Kim, what's TWT? Right, Don. I have an 80,000 remodel last year.
Tom with
This is Kitsy Fluff. He said his machine is not working yet because remember he had
still not. You didn't
lightning
get the
strike,
part.
and that's what I was asking if he and then he says TWT, and I'm not sure what that means. So I'm like, Wendy, I need more car parts. Okay, honey, order them. Yeah, I like that. I can buy all the car parts I'm at. She doesn't care. I can buy all the car parts I want, but I just don't have the money. Or like one car part every payday. I got
I mean, we're slowly we're
she
generating our.
she buys stuff, and she buys stuff for me sometimes too. She's bought me some cool stuff.
I make sure we have the things we need.
I got a third board and it arrived defective. Oh, defective boards.
That's miserable. Dealing
Uh,
with.
so now a fourth board is coming, and hopefully it works. Jeez. 80 grand makes that 42 grand come quicker than you're making a good decision. Exactly 3 years to beat a 57 Chevy four-door rebuilder. TW, TW, oh, that's a crying face. I see. It's a crying face.
Okay, with the TWT.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
okay.
now I get it.
I got.
Star Trek phaser.
Did I show you how dirty it was
Says it's
between?
a closed eye with tears.
Did I show you how dirty this was between this little part and this little part? It was all full of rust.
Oh, you're rebuilding the rotor. Yeah, man, you should just. Well, of course, the new one might be Chinese. It might fly apart too. As long as that thing, it's going to stay together, it'll be okay. Okay, so to use the closed eye. Okay. Speaking of rotor buttons, the Hemi 6 one is now obsolete in both genuine Bosch and aftermarket. Guess what I'm hoarding? Yeah,
Oh, I guess what I'm shorting.
that's what you got to do.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
and then I'd help you look for the stuff, except there are none for the Hemi 6 up here, of course. I haven't taken I haven't taken
this
a
will just.
wrench to a GM product in maybe over 10 years. Oh yeah, you're a completely Ford guy, aren't you? I think you're completely Ford. I know you have a Ford truck. I always see that Ford truck sitting there on your avatar. The third and fourth board are coming free, so that's good. These things
Had to use all the.
1.3K each. Well, when you lost all your work time. What you doing, Kim? You doing something on my back?
Nothing. I was
Okay.
leaning on the chair.
Oh, okay.
Sorry to
I
interrupt.
didn't know what you were doing. Um,
Correct.
got the price of sword right after I started. My budget was 50 grand. Last night, cousin Mike strapped his GoPro to his drone, tried to get some aerial footage. Kim's hammering. That's why you can't hear me. Okay. Mike strapped his GoPro to his drone, try to get some aerial footage. It glitched and
Okay.
it glitched and took off. I think it's somewhere in Wyoming now. Man, well, isn't there a 400-foot limit, 400-foot altitude limit? Oh man, so that should be. Number working on was a 4.8. Oh, one Silverado about 15 years ago. I changed the plugs and had a great first experience reading glasses. Electronics are fun. Man, I lost my long distance glasses. I gotta find them because I can't drive without them.
We'll find them tomorrow.
You
I'm
will
sure
find them.
they're
You
here.
know, I know I drove home from the doctor yesterday with them.
Right?
So I know they're somewhere in the area. Yeah, they're not in my car, so I probably did. I don't know.
Not at the
I was
car.
stupid and I set them somewhere. Glasses are fun, but I'll stick with mechanical. Yeah, Kitsy Fluff. Yeah, I had work lined up, but it's been weeks. Man, that's too bad. You know, when you can't get parts for your machines at work,
That's really.
man, that's rough. And the price of that board is crazy.
I mean, it's not that much, but
Oh,
it's a lot for a broken part.
that's a lot when you're trying to work.
It's a lot for a broken part. Like small.
And you don't know how to order parts. Apple tag your drone. Yeah. You can always go out and get your aerial photos of the manned airplane, but nah, I don't do that. That's too dangerous. I did a lot of that. I used to go out long before drones were back in the 80s. I'd go up with a friend and he had good camera. Well, we both had good camera equipment, but I was a pilot. And we'd go up in a Cessna 152 and fly around and we'd take pictures of all the properties that were for sale. And then we'd do like 8x10s or 8x12 blow ups and we'd go around selling to the realtors. But it was hard to get enough money to pay for the rent time in the airplane and the fuel. And you just had to when we got up there, it was all business. It went property to property to property to property quickly. Get the pictures, come back, get the stuff, um, get the film, film days in, get the film processed, get the enlargements done, and then I had to turn into a salesman. And you just hope the property hadn't sold yet by the time we were out there selling the pictures. So I did some of that. Man, it's so easy with a drone. Also, a lot when my paycheck is 1,500 gross. Uh, Oh yeah, what are you doing? You're working. Oh, that's a channel. You're not using that anymore. You come in here and moderators give your show your channel. Is there anything current on that channel, or do you not want to share? I know this guy because I worked with him. I worked with him a lot, and he's just a master CAD and machinist guy. Just a one of those guys, one of those kind of guys. And I never even knew about this channel, his gaming stuff way back. Yeah, Kitsy Fluff, what you need is a machining channel. When you're doing your machine work, just put a camera on it.
Oh yeah.
You know how many
Oh my God, people love that stuff.
you know how many people would I mean this bunch in here would be all over that. Just go, okay, I'm gonna be running whatever you're running that time. And he's like he'll draw stuff in CAD and then program he'll- what he's really good at is there were people that programmed those CNC machines and the runtime was kind of long and he would make Hitsy Fluff would make good parts like in a third of the time because of the way he machined the way he programmed the machine. And it was amazing. He cut the time off the machine time by a lot. And when you cut the time like in a third and you're running a lot of parts, man, does that save time. So yeah, it'd be fun to yeah, it'd be good if you did that. Oh, and you were in the process of getting a setup for that. Yeah, when I was there, I was kind of busy. I was there for 3 months working with you guys on those wings, and I was kind of busy. But then there were times I I had some time. You remember that? I'd come over there and talk to you while you were setting up a machine or while we were talking about the next part you were making. Because I was designing parts and handing him the files, and it was kind of fun. 'Cause I'd be designing a part and get it over there to him, and like an hour later, and have parts in my hands, good ones. So that was really fun. Yeah, we did two new wings that were of a new design. Uh, Kind of an outgrowth of an old design, but it was a lot of new stuff. So we that was a fun 3 months that I was up there in Ohio working with you guys. Like Ed's machine, he's got the best toys. I would love nothing more than to design programs and fixtures to make 50 parts at a time in minutes or less a piece. Well, I remember there was somebody else there before you that ran a lot of good parts, but you didn't like his programs, and then you explained to me why, and you really cut the time off of him. There was one part I think you said was 8 hours or something to run the part, and you had it down to a couple hours. It's like, man, I don't remember what the times were. It was something that was that crazy, and your parts were good. So, and anytime you can cut time off. And I don't really understand all what you did. I mean, I understood what you did. I just didn't understand all the programming because my thing wasn't programming a CNC machine. My thing was designing parts.
Is this working?
I don't know. I think it is. I replaced batteries in those things.
Uh-huh. I have a video. Oh,
You have a video? Oh,
um,
you want to do a video right now?
I have a video idea. Are you guys okay if we do a little bit of video?
We're gonna shoot a video in the live. We can do that. We've done that before and didn't lose anybody.
Yeah, the worst part of it is here is um they're not really going to be able to see what we're doing very well.
See. Okay. My most efficient change was this. Original was 8 pieces in 4 hours. I got it down to 32 pieces in 1 hour. See, that's the kind of thing that turns a factory into something more efficient. That's amazing. Oh, so
If you
sure.
want to do something like that, we like once you get your equipment running, let us know. After No Name Nationals, we'll go down there.
Go
We'll get
down
you
there.
set up there. We'll help you set up your channel and
You
get
know,
things
you know,
started.
th- he's got a degree in a computer kind of degree,
Yeah,
and he's done a lot of video kind of stuff.
yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I'd love to go up to Ohio and see him and see his shop, but I don't know if he's got a home shop now. We were working in a big building with a lot of good equipment, and he's working in a home shop with probably doesn't have the space that we did there. My current workplace is kind of holding me back since they won't let me use my CAM software
That stinks.
and are making me hand program everything. So that's super slow. They won't let you use your. Oh, that's it. That's your workplace. Because see, he has a job and he has a machine shop at home.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes, crashing.
4 hours to write a machine program is agonizing compared to using CAM and having a program that's more advanced in 10 minutes. Yeah, I remember I give you drawings, and it seems to me, was I giving you, I don't remember because I've done so much of this. Was I giving you the file? I may have given you the file and you could use it. Man, we had a job. We were under the gun to build two new wings, and we had 3 months to do it in, and we really didn't have the manpower we needed. But we blasted through it anyway, and we got it done on time. And
It may have just written all the stuff I'm doing on the floor.
so you got to drag it all out,
It feels good when you can do stuff pro like that.
man. Well, and there was a guy that was I'm not going to mention names. There's a guy that I worked with that was building the wing. He was a hands-on sheet metal guy, that was building the wings, all the stamped out parts and the machine parts and all that. He was doing all uh, the hole drilling of the sheet metal and the riveting and all that kind of stuff. And he was a very skilled sheet metal guy and a real good guy to work with. So it was fun. I mean, yeah, it was a lot of work, but it was also fun because, you know, 3 months we had results there of something that I knew was going to work well. And I don't know if you know this, but they test flew those wings. It took them a long time to get that done because of where they were, but they test flew those wings and they worked really well. Everything what we expected them to do. Um, it was a real worthwhile project. The only thing is now they're probably going to want more of them, and going to be there because that whole shop is gone, sadly. And I'm not capable of doing it here. I don't have the space or the equipment, and I'm too old to start a business like that. Let's see. I did a cam swap a different kind of cam. Timer in a coin-op gas clothes dryer with a timer can.
Oh, neat.
You gave me 2D files. Okay, that's right. I gave you 2D files and I made 3D models and then program part. Okay, that's right. You did 3D. You did it off the 3D models. Yeah, I am really fast with 2D CAD because I did it years before 3D was around. And so that was fast for me. And I just give you three views. Yeah, he's good with 3D CAM or 3D CAD. I mean, I just like CAD software reduces so many errors and difficulties because correct model will produce good. Yeah, of course. Doing it by hand while looking at a print reduces so many chances for error. See, there was a guy that was like several guys back before you. There was the guy you knew, and then there were guys before that. And one guy was, so this was like probably 25 years ago, and he did everything by hand off 2D prints. And he made a few mistakes, but that's what happened. But he's pretty good. Yeah, I have failed a lot of tests. I've failed a lot of tests. I like multiple choice tests.
Are you kind of caught up on chat?
Yeah, I can walk away from the chat.
I don't really need you to walk away, although you could look
Well,
at
if
what
I
I'm
walk
doing.
away, I can just
Well,
come
I
back.
can come look what I'm
We
doing.
got in a conversation here about a place we used to work, which is probably boring everybody. Okay.
No, I don't think.
It was
Just
just
thanks for
it was
being
just
patient with us. We're going
it
to take a
was one of
moment.
those fun things, that
It was
just
work, but it was actually
it was
rewarding.
mechanical kind of thing that this Kitsy Fluff really helped. Right? So it made it a fun job. Okay, so there's a gauge down in there. Kim, what are we doing?
Okay, I'm going to start the video and we'll explain it. All right, so when I set this distributor up, I set the maximum amount of advance, mechanical advance, and the maximum amount of vacuum advance. But this pod on the side of the distributor, which is way down in here, it's adjustable, not in the amount of advance, but at what vacuum signal it will trigger. So I don't know what that is because I never adjusted it. I just know that it is adjustable. And we didn't know which carburetor we were going to run, and we didn't have the engine set to tune. So once you tune your engine and you know what the vacuum setting for your carburetor is, you want to adjust that vacuum pod to match the signal on your carburetor or from your carburetor. You understand?
Yes.
Your carburetor gives a vacuum signal that should actuate that pod. So in order to tune it properly, you have to know. And right here is the plate that moves, that changes. See, this is the pickup. So it's mounted on a plate that moves. Vacuum. I'll move it. You'll still.
I have a question. You have this camera all set up, and then I see something unplugged. Is that meant to be unplugged?
Meant to be unplugged.
Okay.
Camera's good.
Okay.
So do you see the distributor there? I'll
Yes.
start going and you'll see when it moves. It's gonna move right now.
Yeah, I see it. Yep.
Okay. So
So
when I
it
let
moved
it
about
off,
10. It moved about 10, something like
it
that.
moves between about 5
Oh, 5 inches and 10 inches.
and 10.
So the vacuum advance works between 5 inches of vacuum and 10 inches.
Right. And we got this little vacuum pump that can be used for brake bleeding or just vacuum testing like this. And it's got a little bleeder valve on the bottom. So I just push this and slowly let air out until I can see on the big gauge there. I'm using the big gauge for your use
Okay.
so you can see real good. But when you see it start to move, see at 10 it starts to move
Mm-hmm.
and continues to move until about 5 or 6. So that's where it's set. You can use an Allen key to adjust that vacuum pod. So once we know what vacuum signal the carburetor is sending by running the engine, we'll be able to adjust that vacuum pod and tune this for the best results. Cool, huh?
Okay. Understood.
Do you want to do a tool short on this vacuum bleeder?
It looks to me like you just did it.
It wasn't a short.
Yeah, I can do that. We'll do that after we're done with the stream, or after you're done with this, we'll pull it up and I'll do a short on the sure. I'll do a short on the vacuum pump tool. Okay, let's see here.
Thanks for your patience, everyone. I needed
Let's
them.
see. I got to go back here and see where I'm. Get, test. Okay, I got good contact with a Chinese end mill manufacturer recently. Like they sell a half end mill for $27. I can go on MSC and they sell a worse end mill, same size for 90. MSC was always expensive. Uh, taking let's see here. Lost my place. Talking direct to a manufacturer is pretty awesome, so no middleman. And in China, you can talk to, I assume they have somebody that speaks English well, or are they here, or well, I don't know the whole thing. Let's see. Does the end mill cut an outside diameter like a transmission shaft? End mill is like a drill, but you can cut material in 3 dimensions instead of just make holes. It's the main tool for mills. Yeah, they're flat on the bottom. They cut on the bottom, the sides. They're pretty cool. Machining interests me, but it's a little too removed from the car to really draw me in. You know, I think when Kitsy got there to the airplane factory, he was a computer guy. He's a young computer guy, pretty much out of school, sharp young guy. And uh he got a little bit interested in the machine because the boss said, "Why don't you learn this?" And handed him a book. Said, "Learn how to use this machine." And I think he came back on Monday and ran some parts, and they were pretty good. So he took to it real well, and i- i- and he seemed to enjoy what he was doing. So uh, machining interests me. Okay, handy mighty vac. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's two things she had in there. She had the vacuum pump, and she had the gauge
Yeah, I had a
on the
nice, great
vacuum.
big gauge, not that little one that's on the pump, but a nice big one, so it's easy to read and get a real precise.
I got this thing in the way.
Here's a tool that really sucks. That's a perfect right. Oh my
Where did it say that? Where did it say that?
said.
Okay, there's a title for the next short.
Shoot, here's a
Uh,
tool that really
this
sucks.
guy gives me a lot of good material.
I'm telling you, I didn't see that coming.
Let's see. I did use a DeWalt hand drill to drill secondary air horn from the smog pump passages to the rear cylinders on a set of 4GT 40P heads, avoiding no upstream air detected codes in my Fox Stang. Here's a tool that really sucks. Yeah, I love it. I'm good at talking to people that don't speak English. I speak Japanese. Oh, you speak Japanese. I knew you were like spoke some other language I didn't know. And while this person speaks Chinese, there's plenty of similarity that I can understand their language errors. You know what? When I was working there full time and I was doing a lot of the sales, beside, there was a guy there that was doing a domestic sale. And what I was setting up dealers, and then he'd work with them after that. But anybody that didn't speak English, I'd tell the receptionist up front, if you get a phone call and they don't speak English, give them to me. So I speak some Russian and some Spanish, but that's it. But I get on there, I get on the phone and I listen to them, and it's like, okay, I don't know what they're saying. And as soon as they pause, I'd say email, and the response I always got was email, same word every language. And then I'd slowly just give them my email address, which wasn't real long. I'd give them an email address, and then thank you, and we'd hang up. And within a few minutes, I'd have an email from them, and then with Google Translate and everything, I could figure out what they wanted. And we sold airplanes that way. It's just amazing. English written with Chinese or Japanese grammar sounds incomprehensible to people that don't speak either. But once you understand the grammar, yeah. See, Russian, I have very good vocabulary with Russian, but the grammar, I really stumble with the grammar. And so if I speak Russian, unless I know the whole sentence, I'm good. But if I gotta think out a new sentence, man, I'll butcher that up. And I'm understood, but not, they could tell I don't belong there. Making leap and reading their English with their grammar rules. Yeah, I used to I'd rather they just send me an email that's in their language. And when I send emails to people, I translate it into their language, but I'd also give them English that I wrote so that they could make sense out of it. Because, it doesn't mean Google is perfect. It's far from it. And short sentences with, like kind of like a first grader would write, like just very short sentences, no big long complicated sentences. That helps a lot too. uh, when I floored it, I not only felt more power but also heard an angry exhaust note with those heads. Man, I hear nothing but good about those heads. Oh, I'm D, and I happy. No, it's not having an invasive cat D. A Japanese grammar is this subject on this object gets verbed versus English, which is an object verbs. You know, yeah, Spanish is backwards too, and then Russian is you just gotta learn it. It's Russian's different, but some of it's like English where it's subject and verb. Um, as well, I simplify my language to optimize. Yep, simplify your language to optimize translation process. Exactly. I have a I have an in your face Dean US cat. Cat is not an animal. It's a thing that resides under the car. You're looking at me like I'm crazy. She's thinking about what she's doing. You're over there. She's over here with a meter now.
See if you can get an ohm reading on that wire. It flickers. I don't know if it flickers, it's definitely bad.
What do you want me to use?
There's a meter right there.
Oh,
See if that one works. Sorry, everybody.
she's making me work. I have to learn to use a meter.
Anybody know how many ohms per foot you're supposed to get on, or ohms per inch, or whatever you're supposed to get out of spark plug wires? If that one's not giving you, if you're struggling, I've got it on the 2000 ohm setting and it's giving me like 1800 or whatever. Um, Anybody? Cat in a hardship. Interest.
I've never used this part of this meter. I've only used this meter for amps,
I don't know if this
but I'm
probe
gonna
is
try.
bad.
Why is there no? Oh, there's caps. These probes have caps. This is like too good.
What are the wires? Um, let's see. They say high heat protection, 7 meters, 7 millimeter suppressor. Yeah, I don't know. I just know I've got a miss, and it's like intermittent, and it's like, bet you it's just an ignition thing. Like, why does it flicker? They give me a reading and then it goes away.
7.8, 7.5 on the 200,000, 200K. I'm trying to read this with my eyesight. 200K ohm scale. Tim, tell me what the hell what this means.
Like, why does it give me a reading and then the reading goes away?
8.5. Lost all kinds of things here. Where the wires are 7 millimeter, I bet. Yeah, I think they are.
Wire gauge matters for
Yeah,
identification.
this is a 7 millimeter wire.
18s are 0.006 per foot. Cars use 12 gauge usually. I usually change wires when they get dirty on the outside.
These are like
12 gauge is
brand new.
2,000 ohms per foot. With 12 gauge, I can get any car. 12 gauge wires. Okay. I change mine when they get burnt in half. I don't like changing wires if they're not good, if they're still good, because,
8.3.
but
What does this mean, Kim? 8.3 on the 200K. 8.3 on the 200K setting. I don't know. It reads 8.3, sometimes 8.5, sometimes on the 200K setting. And it's like foot plus some.
why does the
Kim,
meter
I'm not an electrical person.
why does the meter give me a number and then the number goes away? Look,
The
gives me a
meter's no freaking good.
okay. That's fine.
That's the meter we had all the trouble with, isn't it? I
Yeah.
don't know. It's a $8 meter from 15 years ago.
Mm.
It's probably something not as accurate as it used to be.
All right.
Here,
That's fair.
set that on the floor or something. Just get this. Yeah, turn it off. Does that one have a switch? Does that one have a switch? No.
No, it
The
doesn't
one that
off.
doesn't have the one that
It has an
doesn't
off setting.
the one that doesn't have the switch is the one that has trouble. Okay, I'm like way behind here. 0.001 ohms.
Per foot, 7 millimeter wire.
Okay, well, this has no. Okay, so I'm on the 200 200K ohms. This is the cap. It's 4.3. Oh, it's all over the place, Kim.
It's going all
I mean,
over.
it's like hundreds and then down to almost nothing and then
Jeez. This sucks. If you test through the
4.3, 4.3. So you're checking a wire from the terminal inside the cap to the end of the wire, right? It's
Yeah.
4.3, really steady. 4.3 on a 200K ohm
Okay.
scale. So what does that mean? Eight.
That's not a lot. That's good, right? We want not lots of ohms.
Somebody tell me what we're doing. Amp clap meter. Oh yeah, I did a short on this. That's the only reason I have this. I've never used this for anything else. I'm sitting here trying to use it for something else. Um, if you test through the cap, it'll throw you off. Yeah, get that out of the cap.
Take it all apart.
Just take one apart and see how it is.
Cap looks pretty good. All right. What do you got?
It went to 4.1 from 4.2. So the cap
Didn't mess it up too
didn't mess
much.
it up much.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Let's check these.
Your what? Your what?
How many watts?
Is this like the who's on first? 5.3. Must be a longer
It
wire.
is a longer wire.
Yeah, resistance takes a few seconds to stabilize, and I've noticed that. 5.5.
Good. I just don't want a wire that's like dead.
Open, yeah.
Yeah.
Or way off, yeah.
Way different than the others.
Says things all over the place. Scripts, yeah. Do something, but make a better connection. 5.7. Watts on first. Yeah, who's on first? Watts on first. That doesn't make any sense. I try to resist ants, but the bastards keep crawling on. Oh man.
You guys.
I woke up one night and had ants all over me. 4.1. That must be a short one.
It
It
is.
is a short one.
Hey, we're learning something.
Edison's on second, Tesla's on third. 5.9.
It's the longest one.
And you know what?
No.
They're all steady and they're all about the same.
Okay. What about that one on the desk?
This one is the coil wire. What is this one? Because it's apart.
That's just I was one.
Okay.
Wasn't getting a good reading off of
Batter
it.
up.
Just pissing me off.
Cookies. Oh, I'm 6.6.
None of the other ones were 6.6.
That's long. Well, I'd say 6.6 isn't real far off.
I mean, it's shouldn't be more than any of the other ones. What percent deviation is acceptable on these wires? Most of them are 4 and 5. This one's 6. Does
Is
that
it the
seem wrong?
longest one?
It is the longest one.
It's the longest one.
Should I shorten it? Doesn't need to be this long.
Oh, and how short do you want to make it? Make sure you don't over shorten it, under shorten it, whichever way it is.
Okay.
Under shorts.
Undershorts. Okay. Does anybody
Yeah.
know the firing order of a slant 6?
She always, you know what she does to me? She telling me I'm trying to set up, put the wires on a slant 6, and she's giving me a firing order with a 7 in it. It's like, what? You were doing that to me.
Sure.
Like 7? 7? What are you just seeing if I'm paying attention?
I was seeing if you were paying attention. Weren't paying attention.
Busy day, got stuff done, need a shower, night all. Thanks for the live, but from Kim, that's from One Eyed Cat.
Oh,
Good to see
Cat.
good to see you here. Thanks. Have a good night.
We appreciate you.
I had a 1.5 years old set of Excel Superstocks during a 4th of July show under the hood of my old 92 GT 5.0 15 years ago. 153624. See, he gives me a firing order and there's no 7 in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Which wire goes to set? What did I do with that little? Oh, here it is. The light.
Ohm's law really messed me up. That's KJ Kyle.
Turn it off.
Maybe I should do a short on Ohm's law. There was somebody asked me to do that. 184 36572.
I think they're making stuff.
That's a 8-cylinder. Okay, it's off. My amp clamp is off. That's the only reason I bought this meter is for the amp clamp. And I I was living in an apartment and I put an air conditioner in a window and the apartment, the electricity was included in the rent. And the guy kind of bitched about it, the owner. And then so I checked and it was only like it was only drawn, I don't remember what it was drawn, not much more. It was about like 3 times like a light bulb. It was like 300, just below 300 watts. And he later told me that my apartment had the lowest electric bill. There were 8 apartments there, and he said mine was the lowest, so I didn't feel so bad. And he was okay with me after that. Says 7 is the coil, the center.
That's right.
Now you're defending her. She'd throw a 7 in there just to mess with me.
Always defend the lady.
Always defend the lady.
That's right.
I did the old 153624 probably millions of times today. Ford Big 6 power. I like the Ford 6s. I like those, and I also like the Ford small 6s, like the 144. And I'd love to have a 60 Falcon with a 144 in it. I don't know why. I like stuff like that. And I like that engine, except the intake is part of the head. But you can machine that off and then drill some holes and tap them. And who was it? Clifford, I think, made a thing that went on there after you machined the top off. That went on there. It was like a three carburetor setup for that. 680, $6.80. What is that? $6.80. Fifth wire fires all the time. Yeah, the seventh wire fires all the time with a 60% duty cycle. John, what's $6.80? What's he putting that up there for? MSD makes nice wires. One-eyed cat, mine came to a little more than 680, John. Here by Wednesday. Oh, something going on there.
Mhm. Where's that little?
Offie made a kit for them as well. Yeah, I'd believe that. Um, what, Tim?
Yesterday you gave me a little nut driver.
A little nut driver.
Yeah, with the red.
A little nut driver drawer. That would have been this one.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
See, there's all nut drivers in that drawer.
Didn't know there was a nut driver only drawer.
Well, it's not a nut driver only drawer. It's a drawer that has some electrical stuff in it. It has like wire strippers and crimpers, and there's the good meter that's in here. Instead of that yellow one, I should just go run over it with a car before somebody else gets their hands on it. And then there it's full of nut drivers. There's something else in it. Oh, there's another. Oh, this is really cool, Tim. This is a cool tool.
What is it?
All these little tiny nut drivers.
Yeah.
Itty bitty nut drivers for itty bitty nuts. It's for
Are we allowed to say that on stream?
it's for electrical work, like on circuit boards and stuff, where you got little tiny nuts, and it's nut drivers that are tiny. So those nut drivers are also in that drawer. So if you ever need one, and the tape is on there so they don't fall off that plastic card. I rarely use it, so I just got to tape it up after I use it.
Okay.
It's helping to Opolis. I remember the days of making your own plug leads. Buy a roll of copper core and ends. Oh yeah, you ever have an AM radio? Hey, in Australia, do they still use AM radios, or is it all FM, or are you doing something else? Is it all satellite?
Satellite radio. Morning Mexican.
Real folks, you'd add radio suppressors to copper leads. Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember you put those in. That was something you could put in the wires. And then I did it once, and then realized that this is like 1970. And then I realized that I couldn't listen to my radio because the radio turned into a tachometer. It's like, oh man. It lasted about a week before I went and bought another set of wires, resistor wires. Jet engines is headwear. Yes, all the Australians are. Yes, all the Australians are Mexican. What? I missed something there. That's Dean. We put stereos in all our cars, but I've never turned any of them on. Yeah. The only reason that I don't take the stereo out of my Mazda is because of the infotainment, and I can talk on the phone. My phone hooks up to it. I go down the road just like somebody's sitting next to me, and I would miss that. All the rest of it could just go away. I'd put an HF band shortwave transceiver in there. But I'm not on the road that much anymore. Best reception station out here is AM, which is handy, as the Valiant only has AM. Well, Australia is like the US, it's huge. And I would guess that there's probably some big AM stations so that you can listen to at night that are, because the propagation at night on AM. Or I assume your AM's the same frequency range, which would be like 530 to 1700, something like that. 530, 1700 kilohertz. Oh, bought me a couple of 21-ounce bottles of Aussie yesterday, and it said product of Italy on the label. What is that? Asahi. I don't know what that is. What is that product? This 17 joule transistor radio. It even gets I grew up on the shortwave radio service, Radio Australia. You know, when I was a kid, I bought a shortwave, it had tubes in it, a shortwave radio. Carried it home. I walked home from the guy's house. I bought it. It was used. It was a Hallicrafter's shortwave radio. It was made out of steel. I carried it home, put it in the headboard of my bed, and man, that's what I listened to was Radio Moscow and Radio Havana, Cuba, and HCJB in the Andes, and Radio what all of them, all of them. 531 to 1600. Yeah, that's about what we are. They made ours a little bigger, went up to 1710 now, I think, from 530 to 1710. So it's the same frequency range. Yeah, that's cool. So there's probably stations. I don't know how much power they're allowed to run down there. Here they have what used to be clear channel stations. They still call them clear channels, but they're not always clear. There might be two stations like distance apart that are like 50,000 watts, and you can hear them thousands of miles away at night. I used to listen to all that stuff. As a kid in the 70s, I DX'd on my two grandma's old console tube radios in my grandparents' basement. Yep. My father had a Motorola, big wooden Motorola AM radio, and I'd mess with that thing. Used to listen to XERB in Mexico as Wolfman Jack back in the day when he wasn't that well known except just on XERB. Man, those were the days. And that station was running like 200,000 watts or something. It's crazy. You could hear them all the way up into Canada. Our FM band is 88 to 108. Yep, same as here. Same thing. I used to tune into the time clips, very much like listening to Techie. No XM satellite radio in Southern Hemisphere. See, I used to pay for that. The satellite radio, and I'd be driving at night a lot of the time, and I'd listen to the talk radio and everything, but I like to listen to stuff that's not political because then I just get angry. So, but the talk radio pretty much turned into all very, very polarized um, political stuff, and I found myself driving around with it off more than anything else, and I finally just quit paying for Sirius XM, so it's still in my car, but I'm don't I never use it. What I'd like to do, man, see. I put a shortwave radio in my car, but the electronics in the car really mess with it. So I'm gonna have to. Is this one of the things about the Valiant? I'd be able to put once it becomes a daily driver, I'll be able to put a like a uh, what people call a shortwave, an HF band, something that goes between the top of the AM band, like 1.7 megahertz up to 30 megahertz, somewhere in there, and listen to and well, I'll have my license by then, so that would just be a good thing. But I'm not going to be on the road like I used to be. Man, I drive thousands of miles like all the time, and now, man, I don't put 1,000 miles in my car in half a year. Um, ABC national broadcaster, you can stay on one AM frequency coast to coast. Wow. Is it 88.1 megahertz or 88 point? Some countries even use decimals, while we use odd here in the US. Yeah, like in Europe, here they're 10 kcs, 10 kcs apart. The AM stations, and in Europe, I think they're 9. And then in Europe, they have oh, what's below the AM band? They call it the geez, HF. It's the low something low frequency anyway, and it's the like 100 200 kilohertz, and we use those here for navigational beacons only, and in Europe they have radio over them. TalkNet with Bruce Williams. Who I used to listen to was all the time was uh Coast to Coast with Art Bell, and I mean he just that guy, he'd always crackpots on, but he knew how to handle it, and he just made it. He was so entertaining with them. It was worth listening to. Jim Carolla kind of guy. I just stick with music I have downloaded and don't watch any news. It's all made to profit off anger anyway. Yep, it's what my son calls the weaponized news, and I choose not to listen to it. Never have thought. There's a donut. I'm trying to find a working 27 megahertz CB down here. Man, our complete one's hard to find. Oh, do you need one? I might have one around here. I'll have to check it out and see if it works. If not, I'll get you one. They're what you're looking for 40 channels, or is 23 channels okay? 23 channel radios here. Almost give them to you. The
Yeah,
40
Dr. Art did give us one.
the 40 channel ones, if they don't have a sideband on them, they're really inexpensive. I'm looking for a really good sideband one now. But yeah,
Doesn't the one that you have sideband?
well, I don't really want to say on here what I'm using. I do have one sideband radio, but it was cobbled together out of something else. And it's probably something that's not really a C, but it is now. Our AM stations that are 9 apart. Yeah, 9 apart. That's how Europe is. 9 apart. Yeah, long wave. I couldn't think of that name. Tommy Hanlon. Haven't seen Tommy here before. Good
Welcome to
evening.
the stream, Tommy. We're working on the 66 and bullshitting about everything.
Yeah, just like I I like radio just because I liked it when I was a kid. And then my whole life was like airplanes and cars and airplanes some more. And then now I'm retired. It's like, man, I missed that whole radio thing and I'm trying to kind of get back into it. And I've got to go take the test for uh my ham radio. And sadly, it's on Tuesday nights. Oh, really? That's when we do our live. I'm gonna have to miss one night. Art Bell was awesome, and I had a fourth gen Trans Am, Jacob's ignition, which his son crashed, I believe. Oh, yeah, I don't know how. Art died kind of young. Uh, this is when I got later. I got to go get to bed. Okay, Wendy.
Thanks for coming
Thanks for
in.
coming in. Take care. I like microwaves, but I can get tendon strain doing it on repeat taste. 23 or 40 prefer sideband. Yeah, that's how I am. I'm looking everything I want now is sideband, and I've got a bunch of AM stuff. Uh, hmm. Well, you know what I did do? I bought a newer one that's FM, which was just made legal here, like what, 2 years ago in the US. Nobody's running FM here, and I would like to do that. I'd like to get another one so that we have one in part of the Kim's driving because we're fairly close to each other and it keep the noise down some. But so everything I have is AM except my what's going to be my base station is it has sideband on it, but it's a hacked together radio. It's not really wasn't CB. Uh, went to 18 in the 80s, then got 40 to match USA. Okay, so it's the same. It's the same. It's the upper end of 26 megahertz and the lower end of 27 megahertz. We we listen to a lot of audiobooks as we are road tripping. You know, I've done that too. I have done that. I've listened to a lot of audiobooks, but I haven't done it. You know why I haven't done it lately? Because I'm not on the road too much. My last trip was driving back from Oregon, and I was that really beat me up. I used to go 2,000 miles and then snooze for an hour, and now I can't do that.
Well, you're not a spring chicken.
I'm not a spring chicken, I guess. Hello from Dublin, Ireland. Well, cool.
Awesome. Welcome to the stream.
5:31 a.m.
Way
Just
on the
getting
other
up
side of the pond,
the other side of the pond.
as they say.
Yeah, so Tommy, we have people here from, of course, from the U.S., Canada, New Zealand, Australia, and now Ireland.
I wonder what kind of cars. Do they have
Yeah, what kind
Mopars
of
in
car?
Ireland?
What kind of cars you running there, uh, in Ireland? Man, my insurance lady that was out in uh, in Yuma when I was out there,
Yeah.
she married a guy that was Irish, and they moved to Ireland. It's like, man, I didn't want to see her go because she knew her stuff, and it's hard to find somebody that's really knows their business, and she did. Uh, but it's
Whole
'cause she met the
business.
right guy. Moved to Ireland, probably much cooler than Yuma.
Well, wasn't there a big shortage of eligible ladies in Ireland
I
a
have
few
no
years
idea.
back?
I
That
have.
was a big deal. There was a lot of men
Oh, I don't know.
of marrying, good working and marrying age, and not nearly so many women.
I don't
There was
know that.
incentives for
I don't
women
know
to
that.
move there. I
It's
think
like when I was in Russia. It's like every woman wanted to marry an American. You expect opals. with the steering wheel on the right side. I don't know, in Ireland, they're right-hand drive in Ireland. I think they are. I know that everything in the UK,
Oh, right.
where I was all right-hand drive, which is just I had to struggle thinking. And then I got used to it, and I got used to roundabouts there. And I come here, and the first roundabout I see, I want to turn left. It's like, don't do that. Didn't take me long to get back to the turn right. But we don't have a lot of roundabouts. So my first experience with a lot of roundabouts were turning left.
Oh, there's a roundabout here,
One,
and there's a friend of the channel, a friend I met online, something Tennessee mini bikes and mining or something like that I met, and he was doing 200 laps around the roundabout. He was in his car and he was just driving around and around and the roundabout. The guy, that little mini bike motor that's sitting on the porch, I
yeah.
got that from him and I traded it for a
Oh,
different motor that he wanted. And he has a channel called Tennessee Mini Bikes and Mining. And he gold pans for gold sometimes recreationally and he builds mini bikes. And yeah, they put the new roundabout in, and so he was just driving around. And then there was on the Clarksville chat on Facebook, recently there was a band set up in the center of the roundabout playing music.
well, see, in England, the roundabouts are huge, and they make sense the way they did it. And there's always something in the center to display an airplane or something, or like a park. It always looks nice. Here, the roundabouts, they tried to stuff a roundabout into where there used to be an intersection. So the center of the roundabout's about this big around.
No, this
And you
one's
can't you can't get a truck through there. It's
this one's a
terrible.
respectable size roundabout, but it's just not common here. It's
Because
a new.
the EU is pushing electric vehicles. Yeah, same thing here.
Oh, it's big.
It's
It's
just
like,
it's just like, well, you know, I guess there's probably I don't like it being pushed on me. I guess there's some reasons for it, like if I was just
yeah,
well,
like
if
they
like
can
if I'm
control.
retired like now and I drive like 5 miles to the store a couple of times a week. But when I get on the road and I gotta put 2,000 miles behind me in a day and a half, I can't be out there waiting to charge batteries. It's like that, and you're just shifting it. Yeah, I don't want to get into politics at all, but the you're still burning fuel to make electricity.
Takes energy.
Jeez. Uh, Now there's a guy I know up in Ohio that has an electric car, and it's an electric car that's got small motors in it from years ago, lead acid battery, so of course the range isn't real good. But he's got solar collectors on his lean-to carport. Well, you know what? I like that. He's a hobbyist and he doesn't pay anything for electricity, just the wear and tear on the solar collectors.
Oh, they
And
probably don't like that because they get taxed.
oh, they're going to tax the solar collectors one day.
Yeah,
So,
they need
well,
to
they do
tax
that
the
in some
solar.
places. So, but that I really like. I mean, that's cool. That's really cool. Um, Ireland, right-hand drive. Okay. Well, I'm headed off to bed. Yeah, yeah, you got to work tomorrow. This country needs a really good power grid to accommodate those for yeah, well, yeah, that's the other thing. California and then they got rolling brownouts, just people running air conditioning and they want everybody to have electric cars and they're closing the nuclear power plants. It's like, where's that going to come from? Where's the electricity come from? The wall? Yeah, I guess it comes from the wall. Uh, but the real shit is more trains. Horses for courses. Yeah, talk about pollution. Can you imagine what the streets would look like if everybody who's driving cars now had horses? You'd have the horse cleanup detail up there.
I mean, I've heard stories about how bad it was with the horses.
Just
That's,
moving the exhaust pipe to the power station. That's right. That's a good way to state it. Just moving the exhaust pipe to the power station. So the people that are going to be affected by that live near the power station.
so, okay, so I'm not advocating at all for electric cars to be pushed down our throat. There is like that could be a real benefit to move the pollution to a centralized location where they could control it better. and to
Maybe.
move it away from populated areas like downtown city where they don't want a lot of pollution concentrated, that they kind of say, hey, drive your electric car into town so you don't pollute. And that moves all the pollution away to some I'm not that might be good in some cases, but those cars are not good for every purpose.
Wait a minute.
And
Germany blew up one of their reactors. You mean like in an accident? It got out of control, or they blew it up when they're done with it?
where is this at?
That's literally what it's like. Yeah, I've seen pictures of all the horses. Yeah, and there was like, the remnants of horses all over. Horses don't go in the bathroom, use the toilet. I'll say that. I don't know
They
when we go EV and they lose that road tax money they get. Oh, you know what they're doing?
Barrels, they've already added it
They're
to
already doing it.
registration,
They're
to tires,
well,
to tax.
and the new cars, 2026 and newer, the mileage is going to be reported to the government, and they're going to tax you by the mile.
Tax you by the mile. It's coming. It's
It's a new
absolutely
tax,
coming.
and you know what they'll do? They'll have both taxes.
That right. They won't do away with any taxes. They never get rid of any taxes. They just add more
No, they
taxes.
replaced it
New
with coal.
taxes.
Oh, yeah, my housemate's
They
electric
replaced it with coal.
mostly runs off solar here. Solar's pretty cool. Um, Germany has been on this anti-nuclear kick for several years, and they signed to shut down and blow up their reactors. Blow them up.
Uh-oh.
Um, yeah, nuclear. There is a problem with the waste because it lasts so long. Um, yeah, I don't
And
know.
it's really dangerous to humans. I
I
mean,
worked at a nuclear power plant for a while, and there's things they're really careful with it, but we're
if they're
my
really careful with it, it's excellent.
my thing with the waste is we're saddling our descendants with taking care of this stuff. And is that the right thing to do? Yeah, I don't know. Nuclear is just a really fancy steam engine, and you got to have people that don't mess up. It's kind of like a big airplane. They crash big airplanes now and then, even with all the training, even with everything. They have nuclear accidents now and then.
Yeah, and when you
And
don't have proper oversight, people get lazy and cheap,
well, and there's
and
yeah,
then mistakes get
but
made, and the fallback safety plans have not been maintained properly.
when they close nuclear power plants right now that are producing electricity, and they still have years they could be used, yeah, I don't think that's a good idea.
I'm not against nuclear. I think that there can be clean and safe nuclear. I just there is definitely there's issues with everything, coal.
Here's a big thing they don't tell you: radioactive waste can be recycled back to get more fuel perpetually. Yeah, yeah, they have like breeder reactors and stuff, but they legalize the process of recycling, which makes the waste illegalized process. Yeah, that where I worked, it's all stored there, which really sucks. Uh, Now, as we have crazy abundance of coal, export millions of tons to China, but shutting down all our coal power plants here to save the planet. Of course, in China, they don't have to save the planet.
We've talked about it. We're exporting our slavery. We're exporting our energy generation. We're exporting our raw materials refinement, and we're pretending like the slavery, the generation of energy, and the refining of raw materials, when it's out of sight, that it doesn't affect us. Like that pollution is somehow just it's since it's far away that it doesn't hurt us. But the planet ain't that big. It just blows in the wind right over here. When their nuclear reactor melts down, we all get to breathe the fallout.
Yeah, I almost
Like
went to Japan.
we need to
I
be able
almost
to continue to take care of our own stuff.
when Fukushima happened, I was working with a group, and we set up two teams. The other team ended up going. I was the second out team, and so I didn't get to go. But they were flying into the taking samples right around the power plant, and this would have been interesting. I would have gone to that. Once it's still radioactive, it's still viable fuel. Yeah, I understand all this.
Well, the problem is they have to reconcentrate it, and that I don't know. I don't know why they don't do that.
They're a net energy exporter, actually.
Money and power.
Yeah, the only electric vehicles I really think are interesting are the ones that guys that set up solar collectors and they're running off solar, which is really cool. We worked on an airplane that was a solar powered airplane. That thing flew at 75,000 feet and it'd stay up there for long periods of time, like a month at a time. Actually, it'd stay up longer than that. The only reason we
I
really stayed up, yeah, I can talk about that. It's all over the internet.
okay, okay.
Go look up Zephyr. It's a unmanned UAV drone, whatever you want to call it. It's a company called Kinetic, which starts with Q. Well, I think Airbus Industries has the project now, and the only reason we had to bring it down is because the we ran out of range time. But it'll stay up for long, long, long time. And it's a relay station. It's basically a cheap satellite, and it was all run on solar. The video glitched. We had that problem last night. The video glitched.
Ours did.
I don't. He says it did. I didn't notice it, but I know last night I
Well,
noticed it glitching.
I'm gonna blow
Blow
the.
some air on the camera.
Yeah, it's probably hot.
You have more dangerous radioactive waste is nuclear weapons. Yeah, I don't know what you do about that. Um, Looks like we have nervous twitches. Yeah, last night we had real bad nervous twitches, and she put the fan on it, and it helped some. I missed it. I was looking. See, I got two monitors here, and I was looking at this monitor over here, which is the chat, and the video monitors over here. So I missed it. Yeah, last night we looked like we were all like something wrong with us. We were like moved from one spot to another instantly.
We were teleporting.
Said trains with coal lined up coming down from Wyoming here in Colorado. Yeah, I lived in Ohio. It was all coming up from West Virginia. They had a thing in Ashtabula, Ohio, which is right on Lake Erie. They'd bring those cars full of coal. They'd pick them up off the tracks and roll them over onto barges that were in Lake Erie, and then they'd put the car back on the tracks, and they'd do one car after another. It was amazing. Uh, oh yeah, Kinetic. You put it up there. Kinetic is the name for those that want to look it up. Yeah, it's Kinetic was who I worked with, and the I didn't work for them. It was one of the contractors I worked with, and they were in the UK, and I was over there working with them. And then they sold the project to Airbus Industries. But I'm sure either way, you look up Kinetic, uh, spelled like that, with a solar powered, what was that thing called? The Zephyr?
Flashlight.
Zephyr in Yuma, and you'll see all the flights there. It's all over the internet, pictures of them and everything. It's pretty cool. It's a fun project. I was on that in 2009. Kinetic, Kinetic out, Kinetic cut. That's not out. It's cut. Okay, what did you say about flashlight?
You said solar powered, and I said flashlight.
Oh, solar powered flashlight. Did I have one of those? Oh, I had a solar powered.
Maybe radio.
No, I had a solar powered. What do you call those things you charge your phone with? Power bank. But one day I had it on the up by the window, and I just used to use it sometimes. I looked up there one day, and that thing was like 3 times thicker. It was all about ready to explode. So I a welding glove and I took it up to the recycle center and they have a place to put bad batteries. And I just put it in that. Okay. I don't know what they did with it. Hey, Charm, need to restart this machine. Back in a minute. Okay. How are you doing on there?
I don't know. I'm just
You're just doing.
like fussing with wires.
She's actually working on a car while we're talking about how to solve the world's energy problems or how not to solve the problems.
Got lots. What not to do.
I have lots of energy. Just me. Well, not as much as I used to.
No, you don't tell them lies.
I don't have as much energy as I used to. When I hauled live loads of potatoes, they would take my reefer trailer and lift it up in the air and tilt it to dump out the potatoes. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. One of these pics I found of the Zephyr looks like it might be of you when you were younger. I was 55 when I was doing that. That was in 2009. And we launched that thing by running with it. And I was on the left wing. There was a British guy on the right wing, and a British guy on the tail. The guy on the tail would control the angle of attack, and the two of us would run together. And we practiced and practiced and practiced in England with this big wooden airplane that was heavy. Man, I was really worried because these guys were all like 20 something years old, and I was 55, and I had to run with them. But when we did the real launch, he would go 3, 2, 1. The guy on the other wing, the Brit, would go 3, 2, 1, and we'd start to run. And on about the third step, it was out of our hands. It just became instantly light, and it just slowly flew away from us. And it was like, wow, it's in the air. I and running with the wooden one, my arms were shaking sometimes trying to hold that thing. It's pretty funny. That was one of the best feelings of my life was that thing because we worked so long and so hard on that and the launch and everything, and I was worried because I was so old, but I was still 55. I could still run fairly well. Now, oh, now I know how it works. I could probably even launch it now. This this picture was posted in 2011, which seems like yeah, I was there. I was on it in '09, and then in 2011 they came back out there and they set a record. I think they were up for 4 weeks, or maybe it was 30 days. I don't remember. It was quite a while. Kim, what did you finally use to hold that front wheel on with? Oh, you didn't leave like something stupid holding that wheel on, did you? I don't know what she did. Good question.
You'll just have to watch all the videos.
Gimli glider. Yeah, Danny Boyd, you know about that? Wasn't that some kind of SAE metric mix up with the fueling? This 757 turned into a glider. Maybe it's a 767. I don't remember which it was. But they knew where there was an airfield that was a closed military airfield, and they landed that thing with no power. They had the Rat, which is a ram air turbine out, and basically that's a plane that's probably difficult to fly with no power. And they went down there, and there was some guys drag racing, but they landed, and then they couldn't call anybody. He said the guy that was the pilot, he says they got out of the airplane full of passengers, got out and they had to walk to a phone booth and make a call to the company, tell them that they were on the ground somewhere.
Gee.
Okay, big jet landed on a drag strip. Yeah, it was a runway that had become a drag strip to become a runway again. And they didn't hit anybody. And there were people out there drag racing.
Tavo, thanks for being here.
Oh, you're taking off.
He says he has
Oh,
gardening he has to get done before storms.
oh yeah, and that's right. You're a weekend down there. You're not working today. Well, yeah, thanks for being here and thanks for the picture yesterday.
Nobody's going to be here for all of the streams. Don't even try to be. Come when you can, and we'd love to have you. Stay as long as you can, but don't. Nobody's expected to. Thank you for your support as well. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, we're out here at this drag strip and we're in an airliner. We ran out of gas. Can you bring us some gas? They couldn't get the nose wheel all the way down, so it landed really nose low with the last nose wheel partially folded up, unloaded everybody. Oh man. I mean that worked out really well considering what happened. It worked out quite well.
Yikes.
And with that, I'm also out of here for real.
You can't leave.
Tootsie Fly. Hey, it's really good having you in here.
Yeah,
And
thanks for
maybe
coming to
maybe
visit.
one of these days we'll get up there to Ohio and see you. It's
I thought it was in Florida.
he is up there. I worked with him at Titan Aircraft.
I thought he
We built the
moved.
wing. Remember we built the two
Yeah,
wings.
but I thought he moved away.
He moved out to his
Okay.
home where he now has his machine shop and he's working as an instructor
Well,
teaching CAD or machine work or something.
nice.
Being smart.
Being smart. Nice.
He's going to see us in the next one. Yeah, Tavo. Hope to see you in the next one, which may be tomorrow, may not. Impromptu lives. We never know.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna do this every day, but we're gonna start doing the late show several nights a week, sort of consistently.
We
I
we,
think that
we
that's our
enjoy
plan.
it.
Yeah,
I did.
maybe not always so long. Maybe we'll shorten the streams down.
See, he was from Southern California. He moved to Ohio,
Yeah.
and he's still in Ohio.
Oh, I'm so sorry, honey.
Well, there's really good things about Ohio, but then there's the weather up there on the North Coast, which
Yes.
is like ugh. A few winters up there, a couple of Ohio winters go a long way.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when my son got stationed here in the army.
Yeah.
That's when I left up there. I said, okay, now I got an excuse to leave.
I cannot stay here anymore. Blame
Yeah.
anybody for not wanting to be Ohio all the time. That's why I hang my hat in Tennessee. Right? You know that song?
No.
It's all my exes live in Texas. Texas
Now it's going to get
is the
quiet.
place
My favorite things about
I
Ohio
love
is
to
nature. My
be.
least favorite is how far apart things are. How far apart things are. Man. See, I always felt like everything was real close. I
Um,
was, I've been living in Arizona, in Southern California, the desert.
that's why I hang my hat
Well, and
in
you in Southern California, you're in the
Tennessee.
city. Like everything was real close. I felt so old today. I went to a car show today, took all my extra GoPro batteries and left the SD card in my laptop. Oh, went to use iPhone. It lasted 3 minutes and died. Whoops. I've done things like that.
You would be so mad.
We went to a car show
Yeah.
in where was that? It's over here, some town. Pretty good drive for us. Yeah, like a little less than an hour away. Got over there and Kim forgot her phone. She was gonna record on her phone. So then we had my phone, which was not as good. And then the car show didn't happen because I thought it was every Saturday afternoon. It wasn't. It was like the third Saturday of every month. So
Terrible.
so we were on the wrong Saturday without a phone. So we didn't record anything. Oh, we recorded something. Us walking down the street or something. That wasn't anything of value.
We're dummies. What can you do? Sometimes it just doesn't work out the way you wanted it to.
So now buy a pocket full of SD cards and keep your. Oh man. See what time is? I have no. Oh, I see what time it is. Got timestamps on the up there. It's midnight.
Is it? I
It
think that's
is.
probably a reasonable amount of streaming. What do you
We've been
guys
on for
think?
we've been on for 2 hours. Should we stay on longer or should we go?
Well, a
What are you
two-hour
doing?
stream seems pretty reasonable. If
You
you
know
want
what you could?
something to
We
talk
have
about.
another old one of these. You could saw this off and you could take your gear shift and then this would be like a rat rod gear shift.
Oh, my gear shift is kind of busted up looking, so yeah.
Well, I don't know if I really
You
want you to
better
use it.
protect your tools.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like a screwy idea.
Oh no,
You don't want it now.
welded on now. See, our thing, I think we need to record some kind of short video
Shorts.
for
We still have to do shorts.
we still have to do shorts and
I went from New Jersey to Ohio. It's better. I believe that. So I'll record me pulling the motor out of my Chevy truck on Monday.
oh
Oh,
nice. Oh, the brown one. Brown one?
I don't remember.
I
They're all
I
the same color under
saw
the hood.
pictures of it. It had new wheels on it and a new grill and bumper on it.
Was that one? I remember
I
that one.
think that's the
It's all,
one.
they're all the same under the hood. Do you take your hood off or do you like bend it up high enough? Does it come up high enough you can pull the engine out? In the Valiant, we pulled the engine out with the hood. Oh,
Yeah.
usually I end up taking the hoods off, but that one, no.
Well, we didn't have it connected to the transmission.
The hood?
The engine.
Yeah, the engine it just came straight up. It didn't have to do a big old
You could make a
thing.
short of it, but I don't know that the whole process can be a short.
Oh, you'd have to go really fast.
Yeah,
It's
fast
out.
forward.
Big smile on your face.
16 times speed. You know what
So I'll
really
record me pulling it out.
burns my bacon though? When people make high speed video, like fast stuff, and then there's like 2 seconds of fast in there, there's nobody even on the screen. Hate that. Cut
Really?
that out.
Oh,
If I want
they
to
don't
see
want to be.
people moving around fast,
They're.
everybody leaves the scene, you better cut that out. Or I will be mad.
It's like Tony.
Thumbs down.
Tony UTG. He doesn't like that speed up stuff. He,
No,
he does not like that.
he hates it.
It's really funny the things people like and don't like. He does not like that.
And he was calling for the guy who runs. Did you watch his video today?
I did. What?
Tony was out for blood. He was calling for the guy who runs Harley Davidson
Oh,
motorcycles
yeah, yeah.
to be like,
Yeah,
get rid of
he
that
has to
guy.
go. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
get into that political mess, but he's probably right.
I mean, I'm not a Harley Davidson investor. I don't ride
He just
motorcycles, but I think anybody sending jobs out of the United States from a company that's been here for all that time
and
is just sad.
he committed to make Harley Davidson motorcycles
Just
all
sad.
electric by 2030. Well,
First thing he's got to do
you
is
know who
destroy
rides
the company.
you know who rides Harley Davidson. You think they're gonna go out there on an electric motorcycle?
They're not. They're gonna.
To be the end of that.
They're destroying the company,
Yeah.
and it
I just
couldn't
take
be any more intentional.
I just take out the first two bolts and loosen the back two and tie the hood up. Oh yeah, that would just tilt it up. Okay. Two bolts and loosen the back. I'm too old to take the hood off myself. I used to do that up 50 years ago.
Oh yeah, taking the hood off is rough. You got to have two people. Oh, I know what I wanted to do.
I used to take some hoods off. Now those Mazdas I used to do, those hoods would lift up. How was? Oh no, they opened backwards, but you still couldn't get the engine out. But I used to take them off by myself because they were small. It's something else I used to take the hood off by myself. Can't remember what it is. It wasn't hard. But like the Valiant, when we took the hood off to paint it, two of us did that. And the same thing with the deck lid, two of us did that.
The decals.
Yeah, remember we did the decals, like decals.
Can you put that back in the drawer?
You want a flat?
I got this.
You trying to pry something up with a Phillips?
No,
It'll never work.
Phillips screws out with the Phillips.
Oh, I don't care.
The right size one.
The sped up either. I like to see details at a normal speed. Well, see, I understand that too, but
Details is different, but
like somebody jacking up a car, they slide jack and go the car's up. I don't really want to see like every pump on the jack. I don't care, you know. It's like I got other things to do.
come on, I've done this part of it, the process before.
Jacked up so many cars. Oh, you know what I want? How do we make it so when we stick the jack under the car, I can go like this. And it's up.
You just got to get really fast.
Oh man,
Like practice. Got to practice that motion.
why are you removing the? Why are you taking apart our light? Did it stop? Is
This
that
is
the
the
one that
dead one.
failed?
Yeah.
The light failed. Imagine that, a Chinese light that failed. Is that made in China? Before I say it is, I just assume it is. It could be made in India or Vietnam or somewhere.
Do not remove.
Do not remove screws. And here we have the screws. It's an 86 Chevy, so that hood is still real steel. It's heavy. You know what else about those Chevys? Seven, oh, an 86. Yeah, they've got the what do they call it? Crush control, crumple zone notches in them, so that hood, there's some big heavy pins back there. So if you get hit in the front end, that hood bends like this. I think it has those because I've seen people pull those down and the hinges are all rusty and they bend their hood.
On this.
Pull on it.
Feel. Pull. Harder. Harder.
Yeah.
What is it? Bungee cord.
It's a bungee cord.
Why is there a
Why
bungee
is there a bungee cord?
I, I'm boggled. My mind is boggled.
Why is there a bungee cord inside there?
I don't know.
I thought it was a wire, and I'm thinking, why is it stretching? And then about the time you said it's a bungee cord, I'm thinking, it's a bungee cord. What's going in there? Is that how they hold it? That's how they hold the top and bottom on?
No,
Does it
it's
just slide?
not tight. I don't know what it's
Well,
doing.
does it attach down to that end? Maybe it holds the ends on.
It's not holding it on. It's loose.
Oh, well, this might slide off. Oh, no. I don't know.
Uh,
Who knows? Who knows how these are held together?
Who knows?
Who has the maintenance manual for
Who
this?
knows the magic way to get this thing
You know where you
apart?
get the maintenance manual on this? You go online and you put in your credit card and it brings it up on the screen for 24 hours.
But it does.
It's like all the manuals now. All the ones that do that are pretty good. I brought up wiring diagrams that are excellent.
What are you doing?
But they're good for 24 hours. But you know what the trick is
Are
to
you
that?
ignoring? Are we ignoring chat?
Yeah, I'm watching it. You know the trick to those online manuals when you bring up something on the screen and you want to keep it. What I do is I take a screenshot and then I print out about three or four of them, five of them, whatever it takes, and I take that out of the car. And I don't care how greasy they get or anything else. When they start getting bad, water it up, throw it away, and I got the next copy. But that's what I used to do with wiring diagrams.
Hmm.
But still, you're buying it for a day, or if you're buying it for one car, yep, screenshot it. Yeah, maybe it's one day, or is it for one vehicle for a period of time? I don't remember. I used to do it for my Ford van.
Oh,
And
did
you
you
know,
hear what?
the background to help fix your light. Yeah, we need Kim fixes every. Her channel is Kim fixes things. And that's because she fixes everything.
Well,
She dive into
except for the
some.
things that I break.
She's she dives into things she's never seen before and fixes them. Well, the first time I saw you do that, what was it? It was like a gas gauge that didn't work in the car or something, and you had it all apart. And I'm thinking that's never going to work again.
Ugh.
And it worked really well afterward.
Well, that breaks things too.
It's a Harbor Freight lightsaber, yes,
It is. Yeah.
lightsaber. Except it says illumin,
Luminar work.
il, oh, luminar work is what it says on it. We have these radios that are Chinglish. You got to hear this.
Oh, they're funny. The battery died in this. That's why it sat outside dead. Not outside, but out in the garage dead. It through a couple winters maybe, and that's why it did come around for a little while.
What? Oh, that.
This thing now it won't charge.
These radios, when you turn them on, it tells you it's on,
It tells you it's on.
and then
Says
it
funny
tells you
things.
what channel it's on. So listen, this is programmed by the Chinese. Listen to this. Open to radio. Two. Open to radio. Two. What does that mean? I mean, I could figure it out. It's on. But who says open to radio? Open to radio. Two. That's pretty funny. Open to radio.
That is a unique
So when we
translation.
get home, it's like open to TV. Click. Or what else do we have? Electric stove. Open to burner. What you do? You took apart a thing with the oh, the bungee cord is not long at all. Where the hell? The bungee cord is just in this thing. This is so you can shoot this across the room.
All right.
I don't know what this is for.
I don't know either.
I'll put a bungee cord in the
I don't know, but
handle.
they tricked us. They put the batteries in the other end.
The end it has the batteries, not the end you took apart.
Yep, they totally tricked me.
I don't know what a bungee cord does in the light. I have no idea. Maybe they hang these in the factory coming along and then somebody grabs them, the short people can stretch them out. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. One day when we find out, we'll feel really stupid. Go, oh, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
Right now, it's a joke.
Fasten your seatbelt.
Open to foreigner propaganda. I'm much better at taking things apart than putting them back together.
Well, yeah.
You know, I
But the
read
first step in putting things back together is taking them apart.
I read a story about Henry Ford when he was a kid. His father bought him a watch, and the first thing he did was took the watch all apart. Really upset his father, but he put it all back together and he made it work. So that shows what kind of guy he was.
I have
He did a lot of his own engineering. He's kind of an amazing brain.
I have broken a lot more things than I have ever fixed.
You have?
Yeah, and I don't think I'll ever surpass the number of things that I have broken,
I
but
don't know.
that's okay.
But remember those '80s Chryslers that would talk, fasten your seatbelt, but it was in that Atari creepy voice. Yeah.
I remember your door is ajar.
Your door is ajar. And everybody goes, how can my door be ajar? It's not a
If you
jar, it's a door.
if you think about it, when the door is open, the whole car is ajar.
Well, wait. See, when that all came out, I said, you know what we should be doing? I was over there hammering on radiators and soldering, getting paid for one radiator at a time. I said, you know what we should be doing? We should be making new recordings to go in those Chrysler products that say other stuff like close your effing door.
I don't think anybody wanted to pay for that. Nobody
Oh
wanted.
yeah, they would have. It'd been like those stickers in the Volkswagens you could get back in the '60s.
Yeah.
And they where the knobs were in the Volkswagen Beetles, they said like lights and ashtray and all this stuff. You could get these stickers to put over the Volkswagen stickers, and like over the ashtray it said "their Schmogadunka," and the light switch it said "their glimmer blinking," and the windshield wipers it said "oh their drizzle flipping." They had all these things you put on there as a joke, and people bought those stickers and put them on there. It's kind of funny
He
thing.
always did love his. Here you go.
Oh, what is that? Oh, it's a battery. Oh, it works. Oh,
Suddenly works.
okay, there's something suddenly apart in there. Mm.
That tiny little 3.7 volt battery is what
Can we put like a big long battery in it?
we sure can.
Make it last longer? Oh, you know what we do? We adapt this over and plug in a 4 amp um, uh,
Um,
drill battery, a Ryobi battery. Oh, I don't know if the
a
voltage is right.
Ryobi battery. It's only 3.7
Well, then
volts.
18 volts will make it really bright. We'll put a big fat resistor in there. I don't know.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we could just get a couple of double A's and put them in on the same circuit so that we don't have to charge them anymore. Pretty wow.
How would you play foreigner in radio? I told Dad, William, I put the watch back together and had 40 parts left over, and it's still working. I hired a guy one time in a second radiator shop I had, and he was the radiator guy. He's a mechanic. There was a flat rate mechanic. He was fast. So he worked piecemeal. He could make pretty good money, and so I agreed to pay him like that. Some people I paid hourly. Some people I paid like hourly plus like a minimal flat rate. But once they're on any kind of flat rate, they take care of their own comebacks. But first heater core he did, he got all done with it. It's sitting there running, heat's blasting out, and he hands me all these screws and clips and stuff. I go, "What's that?" He goes, "That's the stuff that's left over." He goes, "You can't put this stuff back in." I go, "What?" They put it back in the factory, you know. I said, "Well, put it back in." He refused. His last heater core job he got. Where I used to be afraid of taking things apart, age is age has brought the window of it's it's fucked already. I
That's
can't
right.
make it any more fucked. That's right. Hey, look at this big thing.
That
We
is
could make a curved one of those.
that is the first step to learning how to fix things is being willing to break things. Look at all them little bulbs. That's crazy.
First time I took a carburetor apart, I was not of driving age yet.
Yeah.
I had some carburetor in my bedroom. I'm sure my parents like that thing in the bedroom has got gasoline in it, you know.
Yeah.
So
Makes
I'm on
sense.
my desk and I take the lid off the thing. Man, a ball and a spring come flying out of it, and I don't know where it came from, you know. I didn't have a manual or anything. It's like, where did this come from? I never got that thing back together right. Oh man.
I wonder what this
Of course,
little
I didn't have a car. It didn't matter.
wonder
Just an
what
old
this
car.
oh, that's this is the charging stuff.
That's the charger, huh? And there's something wrong with it? Well, maybe because the battery's good enough to light this thing up, so it's charged up.
The battery isn't good enough to light things up. It's not working anymore.
Oh, why did it light up so well?
Didn't light up well. It just kind of lit up for a second and then died, didn't it?
I don't know. I thought it lit up. I thought the battery was good, but maybe not.
No, it hasn't lit up in weeks, and it won't charge.
Oh, I thought it was like a open connection or something because when you took it apart, it lit up.
No, I think I just got a little one last
One
hurrah.
last little. So how many volts is that battery?
3.7. It's just that whole string of lights, that little battery. These are
So
bright.
they are bright, but they don't last a long time, and now I know why.
They don't last that long. No, they don't last for long.
Can you attach a cord to it?
Yeah, yeah, we could. No reason why we couldn't.
Speak and spell dash. First one I ever rebuilt was a Potbelly Rochester, one barrel for a 235 Stowbolt 6. Check each cell with your meter. Yeah, here we go. Oh, here, get the good meter.
One cell.
Well, I was going to make it easy and check the one
That
cell.
would be easy. Yeah, you could just
Check each cell.
stab it into the
Here,
positive and negative.
and let's see what we got here.
You don't even have to go in here. There's black.
Here, where's the other one go? Oh, on the wire. Okay, you got that. I got this. You want to guess how many volts?
1.5.
4.15.
Really? Maybe it is something else wrong.
Because when you first touched something, that lit up really well. But then I thought you let go, and
Here,
you think the battery crapped out
I
already.
did.
But it lit up really bright. So I was surprised when you said that.
So it's something else, huh?
See, we always have smart people in here that think of things.
Think of things for us to figure out.
It was Barrows that got us
Now I have to
out of
figure
the
out what the
last
heck
mess we
is
were in.
going on.
It can't run on AC if they're LEDs. Oh yeah, it can. Over here we have 60 cycle. Over there you probably have 50. So it'd be 60 pulses like this, and all we have to do is put a
Let me
big
see.
old diode in there.
I could just put a jumper
That
wire
would be a flasher.
and run full voltage through it. I don't think it's gonna hurt it.
Run how much voltage?
Whatever we're getting, 4 point.
Where are you going to get that voltage?
It's here. I just have to.
Oh, you're just going to run it directly through
Yeah,
the thing.
run it direct. We'll see if it makes it work. Wouldn't that be cool?
I remember Bill,
It's like Mr. Wizarding.
Mr. Wizard.
Mr. Wizard.
She's Ms. Wizard.
Ms. Wizard.
Ms. Wizard. 20 years of saying "niet" to the FF all-wheel drive system, and AMC put it out. FF, FF, FF.
FF all-wheel drive?
Yet. Вы говорите по-русски? You speak Russian? Ah, those things were creepy as all get out. I remember. Okay. Zener diodes rock. Zener diodes. Zener diodes? Zener diodes. Oh, the, yeah, we could put a diode, but then, you know, we got 123 volts at the outlet here. I think that's too much. You'd take a circuit to fix that. I'm sure we have something around here we could adapt to that. What are you're jumping it, is what you're doing, I guess.
Trying to. It's not doing anything. I wonder if it's this switch. This switch.
Can you jump the switch? Oh, why are there so many things on the switch? I expected to see two.
It's only using two.
Why is the other one soldered? Why is there just positive and negative and oh, there you go. I don't know what you're doing, but it's working momentarily. Oh, there it is. So I'd say it's the turn on or offer thing that's broken. Oh, I know why that switch is like that, because there's different brightnesses. It's not just on off, it's different
Right, it's
brightnesses.
doing something to the controller.
So I got some toggle switches, but then we'll only have one brightness. Look at that, she's fixing it. Yeah, the car battery.
It's only 3 volts.
Yeah, the switch is more complex than I thought it was. It's got, it's DC. I just thought it was on off, but there's six? Yeah, there's six connections on that switch that are soldered to that little circuit board. So I'm not sure what that is. Not sure why. Oh, that's bright, Kim.
Yeah, it's some kind of circuitry problem because the battery is fine. Huh, interesting.
So how do you want to fix it?
Well, I don't know. I didn't think we'd get this far.
Maybe it needs a new bungee cord.
I think that's probably what it is. The bungee cord has failed.
Hey,
Now,
can you, yeah, спасибо. Tim, you speak Russian? Вы говорите по-русски? Спасибо. Or as they say, they kind of lose that. Спасибо. You almost don't hear the S. Спасибо.
can I have this green soapy?
Green soapy.
Yeah.
And then you're going to want a drying device. Shall we wash our hands around here?
I mean, it works.
Thank you in Russian.
Thank
It's like Glada in New Zealand. New Zealand Dairy Board was paid in free Lada 21.5. I wouldn't mind having a free Lada.
We're not,
Kind of like it's just slightly worse than a Fiat. Fiats aren't always real good. The other one I like is the Yugo.
we're not pro-Russian. We're anti-Putin.
Well, the thing with
We don't hate
I
Russians.
know
We
I
hate the
know
politics of their.
I've been to Russia. I know a lot of Russians. I know people that are my friends, and they're not allowed to say anything. I mean, I'm not calling them at all because of the situation. But my former wife's Russian, and she talks to her sister, and she goes, "Well, we can't talk about anything." They talk about, like, are you doing okay? Yeah, I'm
It's a
okay.
mess over there,
Yeah, I'm
and
okay. But the speech is so everybody's afraid to say anything. They know what'll happen. It'd be like Soviet Union again. Might be worse. Very, very man. When I was first over there, it wasn't too long after Soviet Union, and people.
Mickey Griggs, welcome to the
Ah,
stream. We're doing good.
we're
We're
doing
just
good. We're normally working on cars, talk about cars, but somehow somebody spoke Russian, so I speak a little Russian. I've been to Russia, so I was just going on about Russia and nonsense like that for a minute. Um, so anyway, I have friends over there, and
yeah, we
I
hate that
feel
they're
I
in
feel
such a
I feel
situation.
bad during the situation.
Yeah, because they can't get out of it.
So anyway, enough of that. So Mickey Griggs, where are you? We have people all over the world here. We have people from New Zealand, Australia, Ireland, Canada, United States. Where else?
We're the late.
Normally somebody from Mexico here, but he's not here tonight. Mexican Spec is not here. He's one of our moderators.
We're the late stream, I
Oh,
guess.
my guess is Mexican Spec's probably dead. Probably
Surprised
asleep.
though. It's like what is it like? I'm surprised there's not somebody on the West Coast that's streaming late like this. I mean, I guess who really wants to be up late on a Friday night streaming, not either sleeping or doing something fun? But we're out here in the garage. It's more fun to work on things with friends. We didn't get a lot done, but I went through the ignition system. I cleaned the the rotor. It was like had rust built in it, which when you get moisture on a damp day, I'll bet you it would run garbage compared
Hmm.
to, you know what I
Oh,
mean? Because
and,
there's
and,
rust in
and
there.
humidity does. He says something here. Where was it? Where was it? Where was it? Married a friend of mine's friend over there. I think a friend's was married over there. Didn't turn out well. I was married to my wife for 23 years, and our whole thing, we wanted a family, wanted kids. We did all that, and then I was working for a defense contractor later on. I was running all over the country. Wasn't home very often, and she found somebody else, and
She was a
it
little bit different, but she's a
she
good
was
woman.
oh
She's a nice lady.
she's
I
as
like her. She's
honest as you'd
nice.
ever want.
Yes.
Really,
Genuine person.
really
Yes.
good person. And it just
Hardworking. She went to school, got her license for nursing.
but she and I just like went different directions. She's not going to come up here in the garage and work with me, and I'm not going to go hang out at the beach with her. And she loved the beach, and I don't live near a beach. And she ended up moving to Florida with somebody, and we're still friends. It's all worked out, but uh, and I know her sister real well. Her sister's a good person too. Her sister's a doctor. And in Russia, which is somebody that didn't make a lot of money, Russian doctors, well, back during Soviet times, they were some of the lowest paid people there were. So
Dean
she
Stevens.
worked.
Go
A
ahead.
doctor in Russia works because they want to be a doctor and because they want to do what doctors do. They don't do it for the money. That's for darn sure. But anyway, on to something else.
Dean Stevens says New Zealand's not a country. It's a state of New South Wales, Australia. I
What?
didn't realize that.
What?
Are you telling us garbage or is this
He's
true?
bullshitting you.
Okay. Tommy Hanlon, did we greet Tommy? Welcome to the stream. You
Yes.
know, uh, when the wall came down in '89, there were ladas imported back from Europe into Russia because they were sought after in Russia.
You know what I noticed in Russia?
I guess
A
so.
lot of BMWs and Mercedes that were kind of old, worn out cars,
Oh,
and they bought those things. First car I
something
rode in
guilty.
Russia. First car I rode in Russia was a BMW, and the guy had taken scissors and cut the seatbelts off. Like I'm reaching for the seatbelts, and they're all cut off. Like, where's the seatbelts? They're like, yeah, just hang on. Jeez. Oh,
I
I,
believe it. The ladas were what they knew.
in Milwaukee. Oh yeah, okay, that's Tommy Hanna. The
That's interesting.
the other communist car I really liked was the East German. Somebody'll say it for me. The what was the one with the plastic fenders, the cotton fenders and everything.
Oh, I know the one you mean, but I can't.
I should know it. It won't come out.
What's the cotton and epoxy car that was made?
It wasn't even a. It was like phenolic resin and cotton. What was that thing? It was
We watched this long video on how they made that. It was really
oh yeah, it's interesting stuff.
interesting.
That's when I started laying epoxy with old jeans and making parts with cotton because I wanted to do it. Trabant. Yeah, the Trabant. That thing. you- there's people here. Oh, the Volga. The Volga was the most substantial car they had, as far as I'm concerned. But I was in a Volga in England, which is a little weird because you're driving left side of the car and on the left side of the road, so you're like way over here in the center road somewhere. But they had a little Whitney Putney four cylinder that was okay. Uh, but the Vogue is a pretty substantial car. It's very, very much like a 60s American car, but smaller. But, you know, uh, A-arms up front, springs on the bottom, leaf springs in the back. It's just a car. But that was what wealthy people are. They're not really wealthy. They were, what connected people in, had the Trabant it was for common people in East Germany. It's a two-cycle engine and
Two-cylinder, two-cycle.
two-cylinder, two-cycle. Uh, you had to mix your own gas and oil, and the tank was right above the engine.
Mix your own.
And it was, I mean, there's people have them here, and there's like it's like a cult of people that have those things. It's kind of fun.
That's pretty cool.
I'd love to have a Trabant.
Didn't they say that when they scrap them, they feed the bodies to
Oh,
pigs?
yeah, there was some. Yeah, but you don't want to be giving the resin to them, or maybe they ate some. You had to be careful because they ate parts or something. I don't remember what that was about. Yeah, party members. Yeah, the party members. That was another thing. Oh, I can't go into that. My former wife, both her parents were party members, and and I had another friend here who grew up in Soviet Union, and he says, "Well, yeah, of course I was a party member." He goes, "Once you have an education and you're not going to go anywhere. You're never going to be a supervisor. You're never going to get promoted anything unless you're a party member." So I said, "What did you have to do as a party member?" He goes, "Oh, you go to these meetings." He goes, "Some old communist will stand up there and drone on for hours about the party." And he goes, "You're sitting there with your friends." And he goes, "Everybody knows that capitalism's better." Well, you just sit there and put up with it and leave. It's kind of funny. Kim, you're hammering.
Oh, sorry.
He's hammering. You guys can't hear me. I went to Yaroslavl in January. It was 50 below zero, way north of Moscow. Oh man, Yaroslavl. I've never been over there. I was in St. Petersburg. Used to be Leningrad, and then I'd go out to a town called uh, that's a town. It's really a city. It's 70,000 people. A place called Tikvin that looks like Tikhvin out east of St. Petersburg. And as you went out that way, St. Petersburg's by the water. It's warmer and it's still winter. It's kind of like Ohio, the weather. But as you went east, man, it got cold fast. And so I went out there. Interesting, very interesting place. Got to know a lot of people. Yeah, party here. He shows like balloons. Can't remember. I'll bring my Jedi robe to the no name. Wow. Yeah, I'm glad I went to Russia when I did. It's when everybody was friends. Nobody's bombing everybody. It was good time.
Not good times right now.
Now we're
It
back
could
to
all change quickly.
now we're all back to this. Yeah, I'd like it if it all changed back again. Um, yeah, I had a lot of good friends there. People that I trust. And then there's one guy, my wife at the time, he wanted to go out drinking. And I wanted to go with him to the bar. She goes, no, no, no. She wouldn't let me go. And afterwards, I was asking her, like, what? After we were here, I'm like, why didn't you let me go out with Boris and those guys, Boris? Why didn't you let me go out with Boris and drink it? She goes, that guy's in business. He's a lawyer, and he goes, all he wants the numbers off your passport so he can do things that they won't tax him because they'll want to find you to tax you. He goes, I didn't. She says, I didn't want you to get mixed up in that. I go, okay, thanks. So there was, there's guys like that too. Russian lawyer that was interested in me as a friend for my passport number, not one of the honest guys. I can remember I'll bring my daughter worked for George Lucas at his home for his personal dealings. So I got an actual GI robe. Really? Well, Kim,
Yeah.
how far along are you? How much more are you going to go on the dart tonight?
Well, I don't know. I'm just plugging away at things.
Okay, well, I'll stay here and talk, but
I mean, there's electrical stuff that needs done, and we need to make it short.
okay, so are you still working on the light or did you set the light aside?
Right. Oh, I set the light aside. I don't know what.
Okay, I saw the pieces there. I didn't know if you were hunting for pieces for the light or if you just set
No,
it
what do you
aside.
want to do with it? You tell me.
What to do with that? I don't know. We need a power supply that's like 4.5 volts.
I don't have. I don't-
Well, I got that Variac up there. Oh, it's AC. That won't work. Um, that won't. Yeah.
I mean, we just get a couple batteries, but it's just it's in pieces now. Like I don't know if it's
Do we have
working.
a car battery to put center tap on it? You can
Yeah,
carry a car battery onto that light.
yeah, that sounds incredibly convenient. We should definitely just do that.
Car battery's kind of heavy.
Yeah,
They're
yeah, they
like
are.
lead acid.
I wasn't serious when I said yes.
I always wonder why they didn't make like car batteries like out of helium magnesium or something that was much lighter. I guess that wouldn't produce any electricity.
No, that's lithium. They invented lithium. They
He,
make
helium magnesium. I think that's the way to go.
really?
I'm sure. I'm sure Dean Stevenson will have an answer for that. The helium magnesium battery. If you put enough helium in it, just float around the room. Just that, you get an equilibrium between what the
Right,
magnesium and the helium,
because
and then it just have a wire over there and just follow you around like
since
a dog.
helium is lighter than air, the more you have in a container, so press it, the more you put in there, the lighter it gets.
She married a Hollywood guy and moved to Hollywood. A friend of mine, his daughter was a flight attendant, and she met a very famous guy and ended up marrying him and moving to Hollywood. And yeah, that's the story.
You need a good power tap.
Does the light really need all the settings? Can you just bypass the board and it runs straight to the switch? Yeah, there's two boards. One is the switch. That's what I was thinking. Just put a toggle switch on it, and just have one setting. The other board is for the charger. So I think it's the switch.
You know how much that light cost?
I don't know.
About half as much as the amount of energy that I've already put into it tonight.
I know where we have a power supply.
Where's that?
You know the thing we plug in there to charge the battery?
Yeah,
That might be the right voltage.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Don't know. He's one of J-Lo's exes.
You know what we should do? We should put this in the car as the ceiling light.
That'd be a hell of a light in there, wouldn't it? I have some. Do I have some frosted? Oh, we could take a piece of that. It's not Lexan, but we could take a piece of that. What is that cheap shit? Plexiglass. And cut a strip of it and sand the shit out of it so you can't see through it, and make a big long courtesy light on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Custom
Or in the trunk.
or in the
Or
trunk.
underneath. You just have like
Oh, it
that
under the seat so
underglow.
it just light up your feet and
Yeah,
everything.
that stuff.
I see the power off an endless source. An endless source. These guys down under are smart. They got endless sources.
Use the force.
KLF 3 a.m. internal lighting source.
Huh.
You know where that really belongs?
No.
If you're going to permanently mount it under the hood.
So you can see what you're doing.
Yeah, it'd have to be tipped a little so it's not lighting up your face.
I thought the battery went bad. I was gonna
Well, when
see
I
it.
saw it come on and off, and then you thought it was just quickly discharge the battery, it was just a second,
A flicker, yeah.
and it's not. So it's
We don't have any flowing water on the
Tom,
property.
Tommy may be right.
Wind.
We could just
Make a wind powered flashlight.
have a little whirly gig and you walk around with it. Uh, stand there and blow on. Somebody here had potatoes. We could stick, two dissimilar metals in a potato and
Sure could.
for a while. Can you recharge a potato? Are
Yeah, you
potato
just
batteries
plant it
rechargeable?
back in the ground.
Well, I
It's
was
not
thinking,
the potato that becomes exhausted, it's the metal that becomes
oh,
exhausted.
but if you ran the power the other way, wouldn't it? Put the metal back on the right, the other metal.
It would, but you'd have to have a source of power to recharge it.
We have that.
That just moves the potato to a different
But
location.
but the battery's not bad, so we don't need the potato. We need the, you're right. We need the switch. We just need a switch. Where's that? There's that panel you had the other night that I said came out of some secret thing, and it had a bunch of switches on it. We could rob a switch out of that. Remember, I said that? I said, "How the hell did I get? I'm not supposed to have that."
I don't want to do the flashlight. I want to do the car. We can fix the flashlight after we fix the car?
Hydroelectric. Yeah, yeah. We'll go take that light near a hydroelectric.
Source.
Plug it in.
Absolutely. How's this? One lucky subscriber is going to win
Well, you
this
know it'll
light.
be. You know who has the most ideas about this is Tommy. We'll be shipping that light off to Ireland.
Oh, jeez. We'll just buy you a new one. It'll be
Be
cheaper.
like Uncle Tony sending cheese to Australia. What an idiot! Somebody won a block of cheese, and I think he was in Australia. I don't think that's not going to smell good when it gets there.
Well, the worse it
He's in
smells, the
they're in the refrigerator pulling stuff out to give us prices.
they're so
They
weird.
have a pack of cheese they'd already eaten.
They're so weird. God.
Oh man, yeah, that's like a YouTube channel. Be giving away cheese
The give it away channel. We're just giving everything away.
prizes and a hydroelectric power station at Fiordland in New Zealand South Island. Hydroelectric. That's the first time I was ever around any big electricity like that. As I took a tour when I was 9 years old, took a tour through hydroelectric power plant up in Shasta, California. I think it reports slave labor in China. Depending on you, going to Harbor Freight, violate every 6 months. You know
The
what?
Chinese economy is depending on me.
You know why I bought that one or the other one?
Why is that?
Because the little charger thing went bad and I needed another charger. And you had to buy the whole light from Harbor Freight,
To get
get
the
another
charge?
charger. So then we had two lights that we charge off the same charger.
Yeah.
So now we have a switch that went bad. So as he suggests, we should go to the Harbor Freight closed here. Now we got to go to another Harbor Freight. What?
I saw on the internet they put up the sign where the new Harbor Freight's
Where
going.
is it? Where is it? Where is it?
It's going next to one of those grocery stores like Publix or something like that.
We're gonna have a Harbor Freight again.
We're gonna have a Harbor Freight
Oh
again.
no! Now I gotta make.
I
Now
saw
I
they
gotta
put up,
make. I gotta make more money now.
unless it was a troll post.
Oh, it
I
could have been
swear
a
I
12
saw it
bucks.
I saw it in like the Clarksville chat thing,
Okay.
like group on Facebook that they put up the sign for the new Harbor Freight.
Think of the poor
Coming
slave
soon.
labor in China. He's depending on you going to Harbor Freight. Well, here's the thing. It's his or her little young youngster's boss that's depending on it. Yeah, that's gonna cash in, probably like several bosses up the line that really gets the profit. They get their daily bowl of rice. And I knew a guy who worked in China. He goes, "These people are so nice and such good people." And he goes, "They'll work all day for a couple of bowls of rice." And I'm like, he was out in a not in a city, you know. It's like he goes, it's just that he had this crew that worked for him. He's an American contractor over there building something like concrete or something. And he goes, those people just they'll work 12 hours a day for their rice. It's like, oh man.
See, we
Normally
used to
at
have a
zero
Harbor
gets
Freight
all
here,
the
and they
cheese.
closed
Oh
it.
yeah, at zero. He used to get a lot of cheese from Tony, I guess. If it's a troll post, it'll be
Tim
true in six
says
months.
Tim says we could put two nails in a potato to make a battery, and then we could use two more nails to cook the hot dog. We could use our potato to cook our hot dog.
Instead of putting a hot dog on there, put a potato on it, and then you pull electricity out. When you put a hot dog in there, you got to put electricity in.
Back in, yeah.
Are we charging the hot dog?
I guess we
I
are.
thought we were cooking the hot dog. We're charging it.
We've been charging the hot dog the
So
whole
when you're eating
time.
the hot dog, it's charged. Man, I wonder. No, you have to have dissimilar nails.
It would work better with dissimilar
You
nails.
have to have like a copper
A
nail and a
lithium and an ion nail. A lead
okay.
and copper.
Oh no, I'm afraid over here. I think be more broke. You know what was good was Harbor Freight was really about what was in the store here. There was any kind of hardware, anything. And you need anything, just go up there. You know, we get the Harbor Freight and you go in there. Let's say we go in and get like a ball for the trailer hitch, but I couldn't do that. I had to walk through the whole store with a shopping cart and come out with like $100 worth of crap.
I need that
And
much Harbor
and I
Freight
just
stuff.
I bought. Well, you know what we bought?
And I
Like
like Rural King. They
we
got a lot of good
we
stuff.
bought abrasives. We bought
Yeah.
like the
Consumables.
cutting wheels, and we bought drill bits. You know how many drill bits I have that are? Look at that pack right there. We got those packs all over the place. They were always on sale up at the front. I bought so many
Yes.
packs of drill bits, and Harbor Freight's just one of those things you can't walk out with one thing. You know, they just opened a third Harbor Freight here in Colorado Springs. It opened today. Really, man,
I don't know that we need that many Harbor Freights.
electromagnet. What is that?
Battery potential.
Yeah, but I don't understand his uh, magnetic potential.
Compass option.
It's like sometimes he knows what that means, and it's like what was that old game show? They had stuff like this, and people would sit there and guess until they win a car or something. You giving away cars?
Harbor Freight probably sells Chinese potatoes to repair their lights.
You know,
They
didn't
would, if we
didn't we?
would buy them, they would sell.
You know the smoke machine I wanted,
Yeah.
made in USA, Harbor Freight,
Made in USA.
made in USA. And you know who had one given to him, and he even said, "This is I'm not afraid to say it. They gave this to me, and I'm using it, and it works great. Look at this. Came from Harbor Freight, made in USA on it. It was this new.
It's the
It's an
guy up from New York.
yeah. It was
South
South
Main.
Main Auto,
Yeah.
Eric Obrata, and he said what did he say about? Oh, he said it's an icon, the icon brand from Harbor Freight, which is uh, their expensive brand. So that's good to hear. Stuff made in the USA.
We need to take some time to clean around here.
Clean.
We still need to do your
Yeah.
short for tomorrow.
Time is it? It's almost 1. Yeah,
Yeah,
we've been on here almost 3
and
hours.
when we have stream on, it doesn't seem like you get much work done
No,
because
we don't get
we're
shit
focused
done.
on the stream and it doesn't get as much work done.
So the bungee cord portion of this, you
Is
want to put with the
completely
rest of it?
unexplainable. I don't I it doesn't connect to anything. I don't understand it. Why does anybody know why there's a bungee cord in here? What is that about? Like it's hidden. Like it
You took the other end apart too?
is it maybe so that it doesn't break?
Did the other end have a bungee cord?
No.
Only one end has a bungee cord?
This end has a bungee cord.
Maybe it was for another tool and they just messed up and put it on that tool.
I mean, Does not need amps.
It came from these people. Does that make sense? Open to radio.
It makes no sense.
We got to learn to speak English like this. Walk into the kitchen tonight and
We
get
have
home
to
and
practice. I
I'll
can't
turn
even
on the
begin
light
to
and
think of how to do it.
I'll go open to light bulb.
Open to lighting bulb.
Bluetooth. Bluetooth.
So somehow the on-off switchy function is malfunctioned. Is that what we discovered?
I think so. It's on a different board, right?
Yeah, this is a different.
Okay, that's the charging board and the other is the board.
Well, this is where you press the button to turn it on.
Oh. Oh, so that's a relay or something?
I don't know. Really don't.
Well, it must be because there's 3 positions. You turn it on. Oh, yeah. You go click low, click high, click off.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Circuitry died.
So it could be that thing or it could be that thing. Yeah.
Kind of weird. The battery's okay.
So all that thing does is it changes the position of that thing.
Well, this is the thing that gets, I think, that has the logic circuit for the positioning.
Why does it have to be so complicated? It's a light.
Fancy.
The designers went nuts.
I don't know. Everything is overcomplicated. You know why? Because if they don't make it complicated, it doesn't break. It's designed obsolescence, planned failures.
Can't they just make a mechanical light? Have a big toggle switch on the side of it. On, off.
Gotta be complicated. Like early Apple phones giving you your info to another source. They communicate.
Do you have any
Bluetooth.
little
That's right. It does. It's
have a little generator on, just have a crank. You stand there and you
has an
crank and it lights
IP
up.
address and an Apple AirTag, so they always know where this light bulb goes.
You think that thing has an IP address?
Yeah.
And it's like
Why
transfer.
else does it have little circuits? Why does a light need those things? Those parts? I'll bet you
Oh,
right now it's transmitting all our social security numbers to Chinese.
don't say your social security number out loud in front of that light.
Don't say it in front of the light because they're listening to everything. The Chinese and the CIA. I'll
Well,
have you know this man's a spy. He's an undercover agent for the FBI
I
sent
remember that.
down here to infiltrate the Ku Klux Klan.
Okay, I think we've had enough. It is almost 3 hours. I think we're gonna clear out of here and go do a couple of shorts, and
Yeah.
and
You
then
guys have
go
been
home.
great. We're going to do it again real soon. Like I said, we're going to make a regular habit of can't you use I think we can, but I don't think we're going to.
And Tommy, good to have you here. Stop in again.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
great to see new people.
who else?
We will try to
No.
continue to be entertaining, not do always the same thing.
You know what? You know the problem with Tommy Hanlon looking for Harbor Freight?
What?
He's spelling it. He's not spelling it the American way.
Oh,
It's
that would explain it.
Harbor. Leave the U out. I got a real good friend here. His last name is Harbor, spelled your way. So yeah, I know about Harbor.
All right.
Uh, so yep.
Okay, we're gonna call it. We will be back. We're gonna, like I said, we will regularly be doing a late or late show, something like that, here on YouTube, because it seems to be working for us, and we are night owls.
We're having a good time.
And yeah, you guys make it better. So thank you for being here.